It was back in 1970 the cities of Fort William, Port Arthur amalgamated to become Thunder Bay on Lake Superior, the largest freshwater lake in the world. It's a competition that we gather for once a year, an event that brings the country's best together, a tournament that has brought us unforgettable moments. We've returned to Thunder Bay, 18 teams with hopes of becoming a national champion. There's no doubt that one will be the crowd favorite, but it's another that will enter Fort William's Gardens as the team to beat. Rachel Holman is going to win a 4th Canadian championship. They were perfect last year in Calgary. So will that dynasty continue? Can anyone topple the Holman Empire? The time has come. The 2025 Scotties Tournament of Hearts, next. And our home for this year's Scotties, Fort William Gardens, opened back in 1951 and is hosting the Scotties, the Canadian Women's Curling Championship, for a 4th time. As we come inside on this Saturday afternoon and say hello, Canada, welcome to our second day coverage. Joe's here. Russ will hear from Kathy momentarily. As you know, there are 18 teams in the field, 2 groups of 9, and in the A pool, we got a look at them yesterday. Our feature game was Northern Ontario, and Krista McCarville from right here in Thunder Bay dropping one to Saskatchewan.
Yeah, they fell behind early that game, Vic. Both teams did struggle with reading the ice and figuring out all the paths. Just ultimately not the start that McCarville was looking for.
So right, you've got now, those are your winners, and the point of all this is, if it comes down to it, only 3 teams advance, and you go head-to-head. So right away, McCarville is down a game to Martin.
Yeah, those early losses hurt you so much, and guess who McCarville has to play tonight? It's that Team Canada.
That's right. That'll be our featured game tonight, Team Canada against McCarville. Now we'll get our first look at Pool B, and at the top of the table, there's Carrie Anerson.
Certainly is at the top of the table, 4-time champion. You have to pencil in for that one of those important 3 spots. But then what? Laws, Black, Cameron, Inglis, St. George. You could put a blanket over the whole bunch of them. Who's going to get one of those 2 spots and make the playoffs?
And so now you've got an important game again with Nova Scotia against Ontario as our featured game. For Ontario, and Inglis, her 2nd time here, straight year, learned a lot about time management.
Oh, she did. And it's really managing the mental exhaustion, the load of playing a championship like this. They learned so much from their first experience. They have to save all their energy for on the ice.
Christina Black missed last year, but the year before made the playoffs. The big addition for her this year is Jill Brothers at 3rd.
And that's paying dividends already. Jill, I've coached against Jill for years. She's a brilliant hitter, so she likes to lean towards that defensive game. Skipper doesn't, so it's a good mix. They're kind of looking at shots from both different angles now, and this team believes they've won 5 times this year.
So you think about it, you only play 8 games. It's a short round robin. Every game really is a must win. Ontario, Nova Scotia, when we come back.
We really learned from last year's experience. There's something about playing at a national championship, and then there's the Scotties. And now that we're here, we also know the amount of work that it'll take to get that 1% better, because at the Scotties, people are bringing their best games.
We've formed a new team together. Jill Brothers joined us at 3rd. We've wanted to play together for a long time, but it hasn't worked out. And finally, it was like, let's do this. Let's make the best team we can.
The 2025 Scotties Tournament of Hearts is presented by Scotties, Canada's #1 facial tissue brand. By Home Hardware, here's how. By PointsBet, the official sports gaming partner of Curling Canada. And by BKT Tires, growing together.
It's pretty. You can go skating right on the waterfront. There are 4 other games on the ice, and with a look at the games in Pool B, here's Kathy.
Well, Laurie St. George and her Quebec team return, but this time they bring world women's champion Lisa Weigel at lead. We'll see how they do against Caitlin Laws from Team Manitoba. Kate Cameron, last year's bronze medalist at the Scotties, won Manitoba and returns, taking on a very perennial favorite, Carrie Galusha from Northwest Territories. And finally, a Scotties rookie in Brooke Goslin from Newfoundland Labrador, taking on the revolving door that is Carrie Enerson.
And so the only team not playing is Bailey Scoffin from Yukon. Let's meet the teams now. It's brought to you by Home Hardware. Here's how. And the Ontario champions are from the Ottawa Curling Club, skipped by Danielle Inglis and backed up by Cassandra DeGroot, Calissa Daly, and Kira Brunton. The Nova Scotia champions, they hail from the Halifax Curling Club, ranked number 4 in the world. Skipped is Christina Black, with Carly Everest, Jen Baxter, and Jill Brothers now in her first season throwing the third stones for Christina Black. Ontario has won the draw to the button, so that's worth some high fives. They will have the last rock and they will play the red stones. Nova Scotia and Black will play the yellow. You can see it was one, they threw their first intern draw right to the bumper, so they weren't even close. But it's going to be an interesting, I think, for both teams because of the contrast in style of play. You know that Christina Black really does like to mix it, and we would think that Danielle will be a little bit more conservative.
Yeah, and I would have said last year Danielle Inglis loves rocks and play. She loves to play that draw, but that's where they got burned. They let teams back in games late when they were in the lead. They're really high scoring, so I think they're planning to be more conservative. It's just a matter of whether Nova Scotia is going to allow that to happen.
No kidding.
Well, Kathy, when we chatted with Danielle before, that she wants to guard against being facing 3s, 4s, and 5s, right? It's just so many stones in play.
She said she went a little bit hard last year, and there were a couple of times that she did face 5, and you can make those shots, but why do you want to force yourself into that situation? So I think that having watched last night, still trying to figure out the ice, we might see a little bit simple early on.
Whoa, clean. Yep, low roll. Yep. 9-5s.
All right, let's take a look at keys to the game. We'll start with Christina Black and Nova Scotia.
Well, communication, and we could say that about any team, but especially, you looked at last night, that some of the passes were very tricky and teams got caught. So it's going to take all 4 players with input from all 4 players on every shot to be successful in this game this afternoon. And take what the ice gives you. Down the middle, it was really softening up a bit. It's very hard to play those finesse shots when the ice does that, so you have to call your game accordingly to the surface.
And the keys for Ontario and Danielle Inglis.
Yeah, they'll want to continue with confidence. They haven't had the best season, Danielle admits, but they had a really strong showing at provincials and are building off of that. And don't dilly-dally. You want to see the Team Ontario front end of Daly and DeGroot come in strong for this game, because we know that Nova Scotia's back end, Christina Black, Jill Brothers, are very, very tough to beat.
Keys to the game are brought to you by Scotties Facial Tissue. Unleash the Scotties. You're welcome.
Vic's taking credit for that?
Yeah.
Okay. He is, yes. That's fine.
That's fine. Oh, my.
I'll play nicely in the sandbox for now.
Right there you go.
In practice, this was a much straighter turn, the in-turn for the right-handed player. More curl on the out-turn, going to away from the crowd, to keep an eye on that. There's at least 16 inches difference in broom placement on the draws.
Yep. Hard. Good shot. Real nice.
As a team coming into this building, that's their first game, you try to puzzle out the shape of the sheet, as we call it. So seeing as you're looking at the screen, if it's straight going towards the crowd, you kind of imagine that the sheet might be tilted towards the inside of the arena. More curl on the other side.
And both teams, both skips said they did watch last night. They did notice the differences in the ice later in the game. Danielle thought it may be running a little straighter than it was in practice from just watching on TV.
8.5.
5 rock rule, of course.
10
10 ends, 38 minutes of thinking time. Just the 1/62nd time out. And, of course, your stone is on that center line. You cannot remove it until the 5th stone.
8-2. Clean. 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 Nice throw, Jen. Hi, girl. Pistol.
So up and down the sheet we go here in this first. We did notice last night, Kathy, the building was extremely warm, and thought that that may have led to some of the pebble breaking down, particularly late down the center. How is it in there today?
Well, I've got 2 parkas on and a toque, so that should tell you. I'm looking at the temperature gauge, and it is well below 60, and that's about 7 or 8 degrees colder than it was yesterday. The doors were open to the outside when we walked in. It is a drafty, cold building today, and I think that is by design. He has 2 games today, and they want to make sure that tonight, when Krista McCarville arrives to play against Rachel Homan, that the ice is still in good shape.
That's a confirmation about cooling it down. It was just gotten a little too hot for them last night. It is cold in here, Kathy.
It is, and they've also tried to use the air conditioning, but they're not really sure where the vent goes. It was like hands up. Everybody was walking around trying to figure out when the air conditioning blows, does it go onto the ice? Because that becomes a huge risk in and of itself.
No question.
Rachel. I had 10. Yeah.
A lot of times with a much colder air temperature, the general rule is a little straighter surface and a little faster. So that it's also an adjustment here.
Control. Clean. Wow. Little big. Wow.
Also, 3-time Ontario junior champion is Kira Brunton.
Yep. Okay.
Say it every year. You see it more and more on the resumes. The
That's good.
youth sport
There we go. Yeah,
or juniors, Canada Winter Games, they're all just development for the players to get that competitive experience. So Jill Brothers, first season last year with Heather Smith, through the 4th stone for Heather when they played in the Scotties in Calgary. They went 3 and 5.
Yeah, we're fine too. Yeah. Good call. Yeah, good call. Nailed it.
Jill likes to hit. She's great at it. And being at 3rd, Joanne, I think you're going to get a few more attempts at hitting, and especially some of those run backs, peels, big weights, than you would at skip. I think it's a good position.
Yeah, certainly.
The surface. Oh, you didn't pick out so hard.
It's like, yeah, you just flying. Couple to get.
Certainly the type of having a third that likes to hit. For Christina, she can open things up a little bit, give herself a bit more breathing room.
So I just overheard something there. I get the feeling that the ice feels a little crisper right now. I mean, she just said I just basically hardly pushed and I was at the hog line. Would that indicate that the ice is crispier and a little faster, maybe because of the cold temperature?
Yep, could be that. And also, it's the first couple of rocks at a Scotties. I always personally found my adrenaline levels were quite high. And you just, draw weight felt like a halfway guard. And everyone settles in as the game progresses. And I'm really not surprised to see an open end to start here.
No.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a good quick slide, too. So, should feel
that's
like
There it is again.
So it does refer to the surface then.
It just softened up a little bit last night. The night draw is always the warmest. You had a huge crowd opening game with McCarville.
Yeah, but there was those houses late were dead.
Well,
You couldn't, when you touched something, if it hadn't, they would have gone through the rings and out the back. I mean, it moved literally inches or centimeters.
That's what's making it quicker underfoot right now, that cool temperature.
I can hear you really well, so thank you.
Again, back to the good old stopwatches. If you're taking split times last night, you lost your game, because it can really throw you off. The watch and the feel are 2 different things.
10-2, great throw. Oh, thanks.
Joe, we often see more men in the men's game.
Feels nice underfoot.
I know Ray Turnbull, the late Ray Turnbull, used to say they never used to watch because they just judged stones. You just saw enough of them, you watched them. Did you ever throw the watch away?
No, you use it as a tool. It's not something you solely rely on, but it does give you information depending on the conditions. There are times where you say, oh, we can't judge based on the other team's time, so you kind of have to take it in consideration. But even if I know a team, let's say that they don't extend on their draws, so they have to throw them harder, they stop earlier, you can still watch the trends there. And you say, oh, this team was throwing this hog to start, and now it's this. So you're still learning about the ice. It's just everything's kind of a grain of salt.
The hog to hog is much more reliable than that, a split time to the first hog. That almost rolled back in. We're not quite getting the bite with some of those. You know, sometimes it'll come in back half a rock and it'll roll back in towards the center.
Yeah, I think so. Over there.
First and fresh line.
That one floated more than mine did. Like mine had a late curl.
Yeah. I think mine are just gonna
went out the whole way.
Yeah, I think mine are just going to run a pinch straighter too. Like even with weight, like even with less weight, I think it's still gonna hold a bit more.
Call it an open end. Obviously not the highest degree of difficulty for shots, but Ontario has rolled out 3 times this end. Each player on the Nova Scotia lineup has had the opportunity to throw a draw, and that's not something you want to do as Team Ontario. Giving everyone a reference draw to start the game definitely gives Nova Scotia a bit of an edge, even though they don't have the hammer here.
Okay. Yeah, way back.
Yep.
Way back.
Get it closer. Okay, it's just wide open no matter what.
Okay.
Great go.
It's the 6th Scotties appearance for Christina Black, coming off her career best season, 43-9, and as Russ mentioned, 5 wins, including wins over Isabella Vrano and Stefana Constantini and Eunchi Kim. And Ontario for Inglis, her second, beat Chelsea Brandwood 8-4, lost the first and then rattled off 6 straight wins to qualify. Did not have the best of seasons, on-spiel seasons, with 4 event wins. Got to stay with this now.
Swing your side.
Okay.
Got it, and we'll sit right there. So a mistake. Inglis not able to get the blank. Forced to the single here in this first on a Saturday afternoon. It's day 2 coverage of the Scotties Tournament of Hearts, the Canadian Women's Curling Championship from Thunder Bay, the 65th edition of the championship, dating back to 1961. It's our first look at the teams in Pool B.
I think so, yeah.
These are Curling Canada stones, and they are the same stones that were used in last year's Scotties in Calgary. So Inglis missing the blank attempt. Ontario settles for 1. Nova Scotia with last draw. So it is Christina Black out of Halifax that has the hammer, playing the yellow stones.
And some influence, I believe, already back from Jill Brothers. The first rock for Ontario right on the button. They hit it and they played the delayed corner. Now it goes up the corner. Once they hit it and rolled off to the side, they don't think it's a dangerous rock. Last year, I think Christina Black would have thrown the corner right off the get-go, and then there's a bunch of rocks in play.
Yeah, we might see as the game progresses, she may not do that delayed corner. It's still early, still settling in, getting a read on the ice. You don't want to be looking at 3 on your last if you're Christina Black.
Oh, it's a great call. The rock on the wing is not going to hurt her.
It's running. 2. Curling now. Line's great. Sweep for 3.
And that delayed corner now, Team Inglis, they went right in. They wanted to keep it simple, and now they have to throw the guard. They go in again, you're leaving the hit and roll behind the corner guard, which admittedly is a little bit high.
Yeah, I was just going to say, is that corner worth anything?
Well, they haven't seen the paths yet. Draw for last stone draw with the pregame practice, everyone just kind of throws to the middle. So there would be some guessing that would happen, but obviously, yeah, it is high. It's not exactly where they wanted it.
Seventh appearance for Jen Baxter.
6. Seems good. Okay. 6. Room right now. 7. Top 4. Close. Okay, go ahead. Line's okay. Line's good. 5.
Gotta go. 2.
Hard.
2.
5. Hard. Hard. Keep going. Hard. Far as you can. Go.
just perfect.
Little more.
Lovely, great brush.
Good
My
job,
goodness.
Jen. Yeah.
Terrific. Carly Everest, Jill Brothers to suck it in behind to get the top 8.
It felt like crunchy while I was sliding out. It felt like I was going faster than I was. Anyway.
I heard someone yell 2, which in the number system's a halfway guard, so they thought it was dying, but we're really able to drag this at the end.
A little more. Good job, Jen.
Straighter on that side, so you have to squeak those guards to get buried.
Hard. You're moving it. Hold on. Okay.
Going to touch it and avoid their own on the side. Now there's a corner, a tight corner, albeit an Ontario stone.
Yeah. Try and get it lost over here.
That side in practice never got fast.
I like the same weight.
See how much or little ice they're taking here. They get 2.5 feet of curl. It'll be buried around the long ones. It's definitely straighter going to the crowd.
A little more, I think. I thought it was a little
Six.
more.
A lot of line. A lot of line.
No, you're heavier than that.
6.
Top 12.
Always curl. Gotta
Really
curl a mile.
5. 4, 5.
Curl.
If you have room, go. Hard, Carly.
Curl, Carly.
Everest
Go.
picks her up
Keep going. Keep
in
going.
her
Get it.
third
Go,
appearance
go,
at a
go,
Scotties.
go. Set her back up on the other side of the line.
Just didn't get the curl.
Good weight. Great.
Our first update is Quebec and the champions Laurie St. George against the CTRS number 2, and that's Caitlin Laws.
Well, Caitlin was facing 2 on her first, so elected to go around to the 4-foot. That's the yellow stone at the back. Laurier came around and is shot. Now, the guard is relatively long, so Caitlin trying to get around, get to the face of the Quebec stone, tap it back for 2.
Okay, close.
Laws and the team from the Heather Curling Club in Winnipeg. The Quebec champions are out of Dolores, Desormeaux, and Laval.
Yep. Keep going. Yes. Yes. Keep going. Go. Okay. Good.
And that will be a steal of 1 for Quebec. And it has been St. George the last 2 years has beaten Laws in round robin.
When we watched Team McCarville last night, any of their errors were narrow for the longest time, and it's the exact opposite on all the sheets right now.
Running. Clean. 11. 2. Curl. I got it. Okay.
Gonna get that little flip in behind. No, they do. It's tucked in a little bit behind that long corner.
Good throw.
Nice weight. You're 11-7.
Yeah, and as
Yeah, we
we
thought you were
mentioned
hot.
earlier, just with that corner guard being so high, it's really not in play for this shot. If you tick on that corner guard, it's not even going to hit the rock that's in the ring. So it is in the line of sight for the thrower. But Nova Scotia is definitely looking to get a bigger roll. They're trying to get under that red rock.
Same. Little more, if anything. Okay. Big.
A little straighter here, though, so you sure can't overthrow this.
Straight. Yep. Hard. Roll it. Hard. Go.
Good throw. Nice speed.
Right over. Nice shot. 12-1. Okay. Really nice. Great call.
Okay, a couple of other scores, Kathy.
And a pretty wide open end for Kate Cameron and Carrie Galusha, but the more surprising on sheet C, Carrie Anderson had a wide open opportunity to blank, and it just tracked where she let it go, ticked the stone over, but didn't remove it. So that was a steal for Newfoundland Labrador.
Wow. First timers beat a 4-time champion or lead a 4-time champion. Oh, you can lay this right on the top. Look at this. Look at this. Oh, and she is the shot rock by that little bit.
I was like, oh no, we're stuck in between. Great shot.
Oh, that was going to gear off and not
Yeah,
be
I
shot.
thought so.
I was like abandoning cars for these
Wow.
guys. I can't get around.
I know, it's hard.
There's to what we talked about in the opening,
Your
Vic,
first one, I was just
Jill's
nervous
hitting
to call
ability.
curl too early just to see what would happen.
Yeah.
I could have got them on it sooner.
And it was coming down. The weight was coming down.
Yeah.
Eh?
This is no gimme. Haven't played it.
Should be just enough room to squeak it out and still stick in.
All right. What kind of weight? You got it.
Firm.
Guess half a rock gets it
We'll
out,
see
but
what it does inside out.
Yeah.
be a little careful here. guessing it's going to curl more than the other turn.
Yeah, just seeing how straight those draws are running.
Yeah.
You assume you're going to get some curl, but
it's not taking a ton of ice here.
Close. Clean. Curl.
Do it hard though.
Clean. Okay. Nice. The answer is not much.
Good shot.
Very good throw.
Well, that didn't do much. No, good throw. Thanks.
You'll be able to just lose it. And I think
agree.
you just want to be like that deep, probably.
You got it.
it's interesting on Jill's double. I thought maybe in years past you might have seen Christina ignore it and just try to get one lost behind the corners to create her two. Instead, she plays a bit more of a defensive call, and now she's got a big window. This rock, anywhere from top 4 to top 8 is a pretty good spot to set up a skips two.
Allow us not to pound it.
You would just be in the 12-foot kind of where I want to be.
It's a more blended attack already, isn't it, than last year?
And just be able to lose it with a finish.
Right.
Okay. 25-30, yeah.
Now, Christina said that she thinks that Jill is already enjoying throwing the third stone.
Good.
As fitted. And said you want her to, she's a former skip. She has skip ideas. She says, all I want her to be is honest.
Wow.
You know, if you
Good
feel
statement.
something, tell me.
Yes.
I don't mind hearing it. Just be honest.
Yeah, I think we gotta go.
Looking to just get it around that stone outside the 12, wrap it around. Got to get by that one first. Okay, that's job one. Here we go. Can you get it by the second one? No, and it'll crash and stop right there. So there you go. 2 to wrap around now for Inglis and Ontario.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time. Nobody plays down the center. That was, they had the corner guard. They had one come around there, but it just ran out of enthusiasm.
Push, Carly, push.
Wee bit of pebble.
Yeah, the draws in that spot were just a slight bit wider. No one had gotten buried in that spot.
What was your, I threw 35.
Okay, yeah.
I was trying to throw like 25.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on where she goes.
Yeah.
Can't believe
Faster
how far.
than practice.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Downhill.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got it.
Some teams might want to go deep here to give yourself a chance to get fully buried, but you better not throw it through. There is a split for 2 there.
This is in that wider line now with
Easy.
Christina's first in the way. Should be nice speed.
Okay, go
Now, I
then.
understand different line, but she did
Top 12. Have a look.
cover the button one or draw to the button.
Really gotta go. Tight.
But again, here we go. Everest and Baxter trying to carry this, or pardon me, DeGroot and Daly trying to carry this and cannot.
16-8.
Yeah.
So this will be a throwaway.
Or just
No, just late. No, just
Yeah.
16-8, 16-6. Yeah.
see where it goes. Spot there. Yeah, it didn't really feel like one.
That colder air temperature, it's a little crispy out there.
The final stone looking for the blank.
No, we're like a 10-8.
I was thinking 2, but
11.
see a second.
10-8.
11.
Great.
So both teams struggling with the center path to the wings.
I know.
Results in a blank here in the second. Ontario leads it. It's the 4th time that this area has hosted the Canadian Women's Curling Championship. I say this area because back in 1969, prior to amalgamation, it was Fort William, and this Fort William Gardens that hosted it, and then twice subsequently after amalgamation, so the 3rd time in Thunder Bay proper. As we welcome you back on this Saturday, day 2 coverage of the Scotties Tournament of Hearts, and our featured game is Ontario against Nova Scotia. And after the blank, we go to the 3rd, and once again it is Nova Scotia with last rock.
A little light on the second Ontario come around there, sets up a very easy double later.
if you can, Jill.
No, we have no room. We don't have any room, I don't think.
Good judging.
Finally settles back edge of the 12.
15 and a half?
Yeah.
It's still quick. Still nice, yeah.
Ooh. 5, 7.
Okay. Still
Back
running.
out.
Just a little speed wobble coming out. Had to give it a little extra.
Top floor.
Yeah, hard, 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 guys, hard.
Boy, that fooled him, Joanne.
Go, get it on.
They thought it was heavy.
Just died, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a
15.
lot. That was, yeah.
It's just been a fresh line there.
Gosh, I think we have to go around.
All right, Kathy, after Newfoundland and Labrador stole one. Again, it's Manitoba with the hammer.
Well, Brooke Goslin hit and rolled out on her final stone. Carrie is already lying shot. She could have elected to draw to the 8-foot, but is instead hitting the second shot stone, looking to get her deuce, but with a hit and stick.
Anderson and the team from Gimli, number 2 ranked in the country, number 1 on the Canadian team ranking system, and a mistake there. And settling for just a single. Meanwhile, the Newfoundland and Labrador champions from the St. John's Curling Club and the Remax Center, and that is Brooke Goslin. In her first appearance, a former 2-time Newfoundland and Labrador junior
Great
champion.
shot. Really good. Nice. Well done. I was like, these are too much center.
Oh, yeah, it was awful lookout down there.
Just hack.
Great clearing shot there by Jen Baxter, rather.
No, just hack.
It just reminds me of the great Colleen Jones' team right now. Like Jen's making everything with big weight. Jill, we know, is a legendary hitter, and they're playing more defensively, and it's working so far. It's a different looking team from last year.
Yeah, we saw it with that team. Everything 2 years ago, everything was to the middle.
Yeah.
Everything was make a rock pile in the 4-foot, and now they're creating some space.
So fun to take her.
I'm thinking a 40.
Thinking of 40?
Yeah, I was thinking 35, 40, yeah. Not.
Would like to get him around that corner, as you saw, just leave it a little higher, get it around and sit top edge of the 8. Jen Baxter.
I got 40.
50. Okay, go ahead.
I gave you a good ad.
Go ahead.
Let her know.
5. Line's good.
Stay down.
Line's good.
Line's
Not
good.
room.
Line's good. We're close, Carly. Won't easy.
Lots of room.
Lots of room.
Just here.
Fighting 8.
Just here. Just here. Don't
Easy.
want to over
Okay,
curl
okay.
shot, basically.
Really
Very
good
nice.
throw.
Nice shot, Jen.
Good.
15-1. Good judging.
14. Good. Sweet's nice.
Elsewhere, Kathy.
Well, that blank last end for Team Laws was not easy. It was a run back double by Selena Negevin, the third for Team Laws, that got them out of a little bit of trouble. And you see no score on sheet B, but that is not because of a tactic. None of the teams can hit and stick.
Dangerous play here. The freeze around a pretty tight guard in a straight spot. It's gotta be. You bounce this off, you could give up 2 or 3.
Whoa. Where is it?
Back.
Straight. Just straight. Straight. Yep.
Tuck it around here.
Yeah.
Good call. Okay. Good call.
Sneaky.
Really good audible. And you know what? That's the sweepers calling the weight appropriately. Instead of just saying, oh, it's heavy. They're yelling T, so Danielle knows she can get the most out of that shot. Really well managed.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, oh no.
Go there now. 8.
Full line, right?
8. T-line. Line's good. 8. Whoa.
Fourth rock down this path this end. You got to assume it's going to be quick.
9. Curl now. Curl, we'll bump it. Hard. Keep going. Keep going. That's good. Nice right call.
Yeah, nice play.
13-8.
Just hit 2.
It was just like a good call, guys. Back line.
I had.
Be really careful here now. It's tough to remove that yellow one.
Just
Start freezing without hammer. That's a recipe for disaster.
Freeze is really nice.
Ain't that or even like there.
There you go, I'll keep my head up.
It's easier the 2 shots, wasn't it? The hit's tough.
Yeah, I'd be tempted to try to play a tap. I mean, but it's jamming all day is the other problem. So this isn't not a lot of options here for Ontario.
Copy! Copy! T! Okay, lots of line. Line's good. Where? T! Okay, clean. Yep, gotta
Here's
go.
a wonderful drawer. A lot of mixed doubles experience.
Yeah,
Great rotation. It's got to be easy to judge.
Hard line. Hard. 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 Hard line. Hard. Go, 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 go. Okay. Okay. 15.
To be able to kind of play the same.
So is the shot rocket, it appears to me.
Yeah, great weight.
You like that? Just
And
pump
I've
it
never
down.
been wrong, so.
No.
All opposed? Carried.
Same everything, right? Same weight? Same
We just misunderstand what you say many times.
Okay, is that hair more?
No.
Yeah, it's a hair more.
Just I think that was back line.
Great opportunity here. That
was like
back
back line,
line
back
type
flop.
line.
Yeah.
Hit a quarter rock, half a rock, roll to the center.
Different lines. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to have a pitch.
These are the ones you can overthrow in a hurry. There are a lot of rocks down this path.
Weight's good. Whoa. Back line. Whoa. Close.
A year ago at the Scotties, she was throwing 4 stone for Heather Smith,
Just through.
and they beat Christina Black in that provincial final that year.
Get it.
And now she's playing with
Sit,
Black.
sit. Okay.
Nice
And
throw.
very nice to chip that through. Wow.
We needed the same weight.
Wow. Good. That ran so different.
She's running pretty straight there with it, sort of weight.
Nice throw.
Just warm that side up.
Yeah, difference in weight. I timed her first one was a 13.8, so that's kind of just through, and that one was a 12.8. And usually every second hog to hog is about 6 feet. It's not weight sensitive.
Curl. Gotta go.
Get it. Sit.
Still a pretty good result, sitting 2.
Yeah. Microphone and looks.
But yeah, it was like, when you put the broom down, I was
Pocket's
like, no,
still
I
there?
can't throw it the same.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
that's-
definitely for sure. Because the red one, if you get it on the nose here, that red one's going to help you too if you're Team Ontario.
T.
Easy line.
Wait if you can. T. Please. Close, Calista. Back 4.
That winning streak for Ontario came at the exact right moment. They did not have a very good season, lost their first 2 games at the provincials, and then away they went.
Yeah, one, they dropped their first and then ran 6.
Curl on this one, pass on this one, pass.
And it was against Holly Duncan, her former teammate. So she said it wasn't we weren't playing somebody just off the street. We were playing a pretty high-ranked team.
But I guess you have to try that, right?
We could just
You
nose.
nose, but then she
her
hits and
double.
rolls. Or no, I think if we nose, does she try and hit and roll under and be shot, and then I can't really do anything with it.
What if we just go to here
Yeah. Okay.
instead of rolling into
Yeah.
7?
Do you like?
Gentle.
Do you like just what you threw?
Yeah, 12.
Yeah.
Is that about
Or,
12? Or was it less than that?
It was 13.
13, okay.
Yeah.
This will tell you a little bit about where our game is. These are the current CTRS, Canadian Team Ranking System points, all based on your event results. But look at where Christina Black is now, number 4. She has, as I said, a career best season of 5 wins. She's 43-9 this year. She beat the likes of Isabella Vrano from Sweden, Stefania Constantini, of course, the Olympic mixed doubles champion from Italy, and Unji Kim from Korea. But look who's number 3. Kayla Skurlik's here too. So when you look at that, you're also looking at the future of the game. And those 2 teams have really come up in their play.
Yep.
Gotta go here. Or you can get just across the nose and chip this the other way, but you gotta touch it first. Oh dear.
Okay.
What happened on that one?
A little soft.
12-7.
Shoot. 12-7's good weight.
Yeah.
Yeah, this curled more than any other top weight shot curled in this spot.
Interesting. It wasn't that far off speed-wise.
What happened on that one? Situation. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely don't. I don't think
Wonderful opportunity to get out of jail here for Danielle. That was made. You'd have to freeze not to give up 4.
It's so easy. You see all of the rocks running so straight down a path. It's really been cooked up this end. So as a thrower, you're scared to straighten it. Move the broom slightly too. You might see some fresh pebble. That could have been what happened.
Exactly.
You got it.
Make sure we're 2 at the end of this.
Like you can.
Top 8. Easy. Take a look. Line's good.
Like you to go.
Take a
Take a look.
running.
It's running.
It's still running. Whoa.
It looks like lots.
How heavy? T. Whoa.
Final stone for Ontario,
T.
with Nova Scotia having the last rock.
Curl.
Coming off.
Curl.
No, we don't need to.
Curl. 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 Good.
Good. Really nice. Sorry.
10.5 right there.
Yep. Okay, you got it.
Hit for 1, all you have.
You could draw if you wanted to. Still early in the championship, so.
But there's no combination there, Russ, to bring those others into play, yellows into play?
Trying to decide. I think you could hit 3/4 of that red one really, really hard and make the double. Just kind of like this, Vic, just right there. Kick that into there. It might spin out this way, and then you get this one on the way by for your 3, but it's not worth it.
Yep. 11.
Hard, Carly.
Whoa. Yep.
Yep, keep going. 11. Whoa.
Whoa.
Clean.
Clean.
11.
Whoa. Curl. Curl.
So it's been a couple of months plus since the loss to Anna Hasselborg,
Good. Good shot.
and that'll be for 1.
Good call, guys. Fine.
So she's been on a run.
Clean up on aisle.
Christina Black,
Sorry, watch out.
playing yellow, gets 1.
Obviously, they've been having an unbelievable year. Both teams are going to be really excited to play, and I think we're going to have a lot of energy. Everyone's going to be fierce and be really into the game and really into playing hard, and it's going to be exciting no matter what.
This is their hometown. They're going to have everyone out here, and they're going to be playing their best probably they've ever played. So I'm excited to play them, give them our best, and see what happens.
So that is our feature. And as we say, not to be overly dramatic about it, but with such a short round robin, every game is so important. And Rachel Homan won her first last night convincingly over PEI. McCarville dropped her first to Saskatchewan to draw 2 in a row when maybe 2 or 3 is the most you can afford. Trying to be the top 3 to get out of the pool. It's going to be a big game tonight when we join you again at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We're tied at 1 as we get a first look at this and the teams from Pool B, the only team not on the ice, Bailey Scoffin and her Yukon champions from the Whitehorse Curling Club. Ontario, Nova Scotia are tied at 1. And here in the 4th, it's Ontario, Danielle Inglis from the Ottawa Hunt Club that does have last draw. They have the Hammer playing the Redstones.
Slight hiccup from Ontario here. The first intern come around on the swingy side from Cassandra clipped the rock on the center line, which you cannot do, and take it off the center line. They replaced it, kicked theirs off. Then a kind of a redirect on the last one, overthrew it, and now behind the forefoot. So advantage Nova Scotia here.
Easy, looks heavy. 2. Looks real hot.
2. Move. Sit. It's trying. It's halfway plus. We're 2.5
Yeah,
even.
no, I know. I can tell.
Okay. Sit. Make sure you know. Line it up. Whoa. Okay, that'll do. Aye.
Double covered.
I had 55.
They laugh at the no, I can see it, but that's Jill being precise, and you say exactly where it is because you do want to line those up. Any angle will make the double peel easier.
That's your job, right?
The depth of the guard really changes where it stops. 6 feet later, and there's a good angle for the double peel.
Close. Got it. Nice shot.
Nice shot.
In a 1-1 tie, Newfoundland and Labrador against the CTRS Manitoba team, Carrie Anderson.
Carrie hit and rolled from the wings, trying to get underneath that stone that was in the 12-foot on her final, but it is exposed. And so for Brooke, trying to get to the nose and stick around for the single.
Yep. It's fine.
And that works for Brooke Gosland. Interesting team because they're all relatively young. But she's added Erin Porter this year. And she has Erin Porter at third. And this is a 6th appearance for Erin Porter. Has played with the likes of Erica Curtis and Stacey Devereaux. So brings some of that experience to the third spot and maybe a little calming influence as well.
Almost crossed the line. Go, go, go. Hard. Well, nice shot. Good sweep.
Straight peel.
You got to like this, Joe, if you're Nova Scotia, you got Ontario chasing. They can't dictate the play.
I don't know, Russ, were you a little bit surprised that they decided to throw the guard there? Guards can be a little hard to place, and if you leave your stone exposed at all, then Ontario has a shot to hit and sit there too.
Yeah, for sure. Exactly, with the red one in play already.
Tight corners. I think this is the quickest spot.
Keep you busy. Quebec against Manitoba, and last rock belonging to Manitoba and Caitlin Laws.
Well, Shotstone belongs to Quebec, and it has been Laurie St. George and her team guarding protectively because there were opportunities for 3. You can see that if Caitlin's able to run it back, they've not been able to do that. This is the 3rd attempt at this same shot.
2.5. Early. Sit early. 2.
Well, that's not a good sign.
Click an outward motion early.
2, still 2.5.
And they'll give up the steal of 1. Now, in some defense of Caitlin Laws, this is a team that's gone through some changes as well, right? Or lack of playing time, Kathy?
Well, yes, Caitlin was off in November to have her 2nd child, and so they've moved through the order. They haven't had a lot of, playing time of late together, but, props to where they go. Team Quebec is really forcing Caitlin into some trouble.
Looks like Danielle's fairly content to run these off and hope for an error on a guard, which can happen. Nova Scotia's throwing the guard with the straighter turn, which makes so much sense. A little easier to get that alignment perfect.
Yeah, and if anything, leave a little bit open on the over curl side because that red rock is there to jam on.
I have more.
Yeah.
Less than 3 feet of ice for this. That's how straight this side is.
Not as big of an ad.
Squeeze.
Yeah.
2.5.
Yeah, keep updating her.
Got a curl. Just above your broom. Distance.
Or to your broom.
Trying to keep it alive to allow it to curl.
Curl. Curl.
Yeah, hard.
Or to your broom.
Good. It's just I want to.
How's that? Just a
I
little
know
bit
where we need to be, though.
more on the curl than maybe they wanted as they leave some showing now on that out-turn side.
But to Joe's point, that's good because where do you raise that yellow one?
Speed should be nice here. Yeah.
Tough to get to the nose with this turn.
I think you have to take it on at this point, though.
Yeah,
Nova Scotia's made 3 nice guards in a row.
Even move it a foot or so.
Back 4.
Back 4.
Yeah, don't need to remove this.
Nope.
The line is more important here.
Just back 4. Whoa. Whoa. Back 8. Whoa. Clean. Cast. Back 4. Hard cast. Hard. Just cast. Just cast. Hard. Hard. Hard.
Hard, you're moving
Hard.
it.
Keep
Hard.
going. Keep going. Keep
Hard,
going. Keep
you're
going.
moving
Go.
it.
Go.
Hard.
Go. 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 Okay.
Okay, good call.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
14.
You get on top of there? Yeah, we can get on top of there, hey?
I think that's the best shot.
Yeah, okay.
What I just throw that way, I'd like to throw that again.
That was 11.
Yeah, I'll do that again.
Yeah,
it's
this
really
spot's
straight.
Pretty slick.
I'm really straight.
Yeah, I threw 50 split.
So maybe even 11-5 would be fine.
You got it.
These shots are Christina Black's bread and butter, the lightweight finesse stuff. I had a little bit of a question though. Her first rock, she's missed on the light and over curl side of things.
On top of
Both
ours.
times.
Yeah, and in spots that have been played.
Here, so and fast. So I think I can throw like 11-5.
See how this runs.
That sounds good. Should finish at the end. Just flip over across center.
Like right in front of ours.
Yeah. Okay. Nice toss. You got this.
Yeah.
You got pretty close to weight.
11-5.
11-2.
Whoa, a little heavy, I think.
11-2. Curl. 11-2. Hard, Jen. 11-5. Hard. Curl. You did go. Curl. You got it.
Skip stones here in 4. You got it?
No.
Roll it over and back it up and underneath.
11-6. Yeah, it came down that
To sit 2 with backing.
Yeah, it was good.
It was good.
Okay, I thought I might have
That's the
added
Christina Black I remember.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Well, the other thing is I'm going to have to draw on my last. So
Yeah.
another thing is we just try a little tap here and get the
I was
line.
kind of thinking like straight tap it to there.
Yeah. Well, I think we straight tap there and they just come around. Like our rock's on
Might
the
make sense to
spot.
go intern now. It's a little overburied on the intern side, but there's much more finish.
Tap to there.
Yeah, it's overburied on the straight side.
Yeah. I just don't think we can throw enough weight to get that to a good spot. I think we have
Gotta
to
get the run.
Yeah.
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 Out turn tap would be my least favorite. It's either the run back and rearrange the furniture or tap it with a back 8 on the intern side.
To there. You saw 3 this turn.
Yeah.
2 of closest and 1 of mine.
I think you got to play the run back here. That's just such a precise little draw tap, and you really don't even get a lot out of it if you make what you're calling.
Tough situation.
Hard to even sit second with a draw tap.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
try to make some noise in the house.
This could go bad too, even by making noise. If you stuff it, you're looking at 3.
You got it. Like you can.
I threw 51. Yeah. Jen threw a 7.
In some trouble as we play here in the 4th. Danielle Inglis trying to run this back.
Yep. That's fine. Okay.
And we'll just open things up.
Good go. Okay. Well, we know the line. We know it. She's got nothing here.
No.
So we can show that side.
So you can
what if we
split
go
center.
here? Like, to block the draw. Like, she doesn't have a whole lot more than the draw. And we know Danielle's draw is great, so.
Yeah. What if you're like there? Is that any good?
I think so, because even if she blasts, this is locked on for number 2, right?
Yeah. Okay, I like that.
Okay.
So I still think the broom is pretty similar.
I agree, yeah. Okay, you got it.
Find that interesting. I mean, listen, compliments, as they say, they throw them out. You know, she can draw well, Inglis, but she didn't get a chance to go to school. She would have loved to have made that draw with her first one to maybe find the right path and the right weight.
Yeah, they're acting as if getting full button, nibbling the pin is automatic for Danielle, but it would not be that easy.
I love the call too. The option 1 was what they talked about, to guard the straight guard, but Danielle's draws that pin more often than anybody in this field, so they're going to sneak it over a little tighter. Yes, they can run it back, but that's not the shot that Ontario wants to play. Missed that first run back by a lot, so I love this call. Just choke off that draw.
5. Line straight. 5,
And as brothers said, you've got some help with the backing as well.
5. Whoa. We're going to have to go soon. Yep, go if you need to. Line straight. Wait's really close. Just for the weight. Line straight. 4. Straight. Hard. Just cross center here. Whoa. Sit.
Just perfect position, Joanne. Most teams would have thrown the option 1 that I drew up there, where you guard the nose hit type thing.
Good job.
Tough little shot now.
Good call.
She put that one on the X.
I was like, it's so fast here. Don't keep your head
We
up.
might be able to get a 15-3 to
Softer.
Would you ever go the other way
Put it
and
on tee.
kick one out of there and give up a steal of one?
Thing like you did in practice, just give
So this
it
is
a
probably
breather.
make it or steal it too.
Just peel out the top one, pick it out of there.
Yep.
So we mentioned earlier that in the draw to the button before the game, she did cover the pin, but it was the other turn. So drawing against 2 here, and she needs a good piece of the lid. Danielle Inglis, final stone here in this 4th of a 1-1 tie.
Wait, still running. Line's good. Yeah.
The Groot is left, Bailey is right.
Line's good. Line's good. Go.
No.
Can you get this pin? Oh, it's got to stop too, and it will slide too far.
She's got
So it is a steal of 2 for Nova Scotia here in the 4th.
Great end, guys. Way to make some great guards.
Yeah, that was.
Saturday afternoon, first weekend of this year's Scotties, the Tournament of Hearts, Canadian Women's Curling Championship. And our featured game as we get our first look at teams from Pool B is Ontario against Nova Scotia. Ontario just gave up a steal of 2, so you go to 5, and it's 3-1 Nova Scotia. Christina Black leading Danielle Inglis out of Ontario and Ottawa. And it's Inglis that once again has the hammer, has the last rock, playing the Redstone.
Whoa. Close. Yep. Hard roll. Go.
Hard, Kira, go. Hard.
Great shot.
Really nice.
It's in. Okay. I have about half. Yeah, it looks a little sketch though. You could do that. Yeah. Just with hack. Okay.
We played this a million times. I love this
Get
shot.
an idea for where our overhead's looking, because that looks like it's not in from the overhead. You can see a bit of white.
With the camera right over the pin, you're kind of looking under a hair, so it probably is in.
Whoa. It's close. Yep. Hair more.
Look at that, 97.
Whoa. Hair more. Heavy. Yep. Hard. Whoa. Roll. Great shot.
Real nice.
Nice weight. 12-2.
Great shot.
Puppy.
Easy early. Yeah. It's like a 15-5.
Good situation for Team Ontario here. Calissa's going to try to make this come around, and no rocks in the 4-foot, so they have some space here to work with. There was curl in this spot in the 3rd end. Should be able to get buried.
Yep, Kira, if you can.
Yeah,
Little
Kira.
handy. Yep.
Hard. Just here.
Whoa.
And they wrap it around that corner. Will be
14-5.
the shot stone sitting T line full in the 8.
that? A run and roll?
Yeah. You can on the
roll
the inside.
Peel.
I love this call.
This is Jill Brothers' influence all day long here. First instinct is to play the draw, but there's this guy named Russ Howard who says it's not great to be playing around corners when you don't have the hammer.
There you go. It should be on a hat somewhere.
Thrower wants to miss this narrow, roll the shooter to the middle.
That's where this one goes now, and it will
Tough one.
just get about half a stone, it looks like, underneath. Maybe all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, half a stone.
I think so.
I don't mind. I don't love leaving it out there, though.
I think we go around.
We'll be higher. A little bit higher.
2 feet less? Yeah. Yeah, that was just tee.
Yeah, they just made it. Why not? I understand, though, you don't want to leave this half open, set up a double. You could go wide side. You don't see that very often, but the guard's over so far that you'd have to be out in the carpet.
Becky! No. Slow push, slow push.
Big rotation's not going to help either.
Back
They're going to
12.
slow down in a hurry here.
Yeah, 13-8.
Did I hear somebody say she gave a little push?
Oh, the call was slow push. I believe that's a sweeping technique they were looking for. So you saw Kara Brenton put her broom on the ice in the carving position, the broom the skinny way, and just doing slower strokes. Just trying to vary the temperature in front of the rock, have it catch something fresh.
What do you like?
T-line.
Your second? Yeah. I don't remember. 37? Okay. So I think we're looking for like 20, 25 in that range?
Haven't seen a lot of teams use that. I saw it was the Team Botcher last year at the Briar. I saw those sweepers use it every once in a while when he was skipping. It's not Team Jacobs, of course.
I think we saw it at the Worlds in Ottawa too, Joe, just a little bit by the Europeans.
We don't need to. We're tapping. Low line. Tapping, Becky. No line, no line. Becky.
Should
Back
finish.
4. Line's good now. Back 4. Line's good, just clean.
Oh, it's got to stop. Yeah, it's really got to stop.
Bounce.
Great judge, Joe.
And to it, yeah, just a little bounce. They are the shot rock now. There's some
Yeah, I was
backing
gonna
too.
say, yeah.
I can probably thinking of doing something there. I want to keep my shooter. If we can do that and roll on, it will keep it.
Does that go back into
It looks like it rolls out. I also just want to make it easier for us. I don't think we need to kill the side yellow yet.
Does it not jam into ours too?
I like the hit and roll. I don't think we worry about the yellow. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine to keep there. Normal?
Kira makes a great point here. They talked originally of making that left-hand double, but you're going to lose your shooter by doing that. So you want to keep this in play. You're 2 down. You've got hammer. Soft weight. Try to roll behind the corner. Be a nice setup.
Normal. Close. Yep. Whoa. Yep. Close. Yep. Hard. Whoa. Yep. Yep.
Looking for that hit now and roll in behind that corner. And they won't get there. Catch the top of the 12. Shot rock still belongs to Nova Scotia. Without the hammer, his replay here in 5. Update again, Newfoundland Labrador against Manitoba.
Well, for Carrie Anderson, it really looked this whole end that she was going to manufacture a 2, but a really good double by Brooke Goslin on her final stone, left 1 in play. And so it is open. Carrie now trying to play the blank and retain that last rock.
Has yet to throw a draw.
No, she had that option to draw for 2 and hit and rolled out. And sticks the blank.
Ooh.
It's good. Whoa. Nice. Great shot.
What'd you get? Didn't get it. Good. I think you're close to 11. Okay.
Really nice hit and roll by Jill Brothers on our sheet.
You take away that one Christina Black missed her first shot in the third end that could have been a huge score. The Nova Scotians look really sharp.
Kira Brunton as we play last of the third stones.
Control. Curl. You gotta curl. Hard. 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 Lean on it. Hard.
Really hard.
Hard. Lean
Really
on
hard.
it. Hard.
Hard.
Hard. You're moving it.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, that's fine.
Prepare.
What do you like?
Hey,
Hate a guard? 3. Guard. I just don't like leaving like a really skinny double for 3. Like I don't mind even just hitting this guy, because like for them to get rid of this one probably leaves me a double, or I just hit this.
Yeah, I don't love that.
Honest.
So you want to hit that one?
I think so.
I just don't really like guarding because they could create.
Yeah, I hear ya. I hear ya.
Even if we know it's not a big deal.
Yeah. I mean, do you ever like trying to roll on top or anything?
I don't know if I can roll on top.
You'd have to throw it.
I'd have to throw hard. I could throw 8.5 there. See if we can roll on top.
up to you. It's not crucial that we roll on top, I don't think. But getting to there is nice.
Okay.
Because it, you know, puts a little pressure on that one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what weight do you see getting here? Like 10? Might be crispy out here.
I think 9.
9?
Honestly,
Okay. Yeah.
Because it's fresh.
Might be a little crispy. You got it.
Well, as you said, except for that first end, she's been very sharp, Nova Scotia, and this was a great shot to set it up and eventually led to the steal of 2.
But it wasn't ever, and you know, you've got Jill Brothers down to 3rd, but you're being a skip all those years trying to get the line calls right. Absolutely zero mistake here. Slinks that in, keeps the angle in front of the tee line, forces an error out of Ontario.
No, great shot. Great shot.
Key shot brought to you by BKT Tires, growing together. I thought that was great little discussion, and we said earlier, you know, Christina said, what I want from Jill is honesty, and she was honest to a fault. She says, no, I don't like that. And no, you don't have to roll over on top. If you just roll there, we'll be fine. So that's where, are you going to get on top? No, not quite. So they're sitting there. Has she left her, though, a double without touching the red at the back?
Don't think so, but it's a couple choices here now. You could lock one in there. You could hit the top one and roll over frozen if you can get the angle right.
Just a little tap.
Just to get shot.
You want to make an aggressive move because you're not going to blank.
Well, because even that is not bad. Like a little chip.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed.
Because you could also hit this.
Yeah. I think
And,
I like
bump.
playing off of here.
Okay.
Yeah, let's play the tap, but yeah, if we're over curling a hair there, this is a bit of an unknown side right now.
Yeah, we know the other way. Like my back eight the other way, this is way too much ice.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think you take minimum because I'd rather go on to that.
Agreed. Agreed. I'm thinking that we're close there,
like back
honestly.
button.
Yeah, exactly. Back button, back 4.
Do you think that's like perfect ice or max?
I think that's pretty close to perfect for back 4.
Kathy, what's you got here?
Okay, just a little tap.
Yeah. Well, the score of the 3-0 is just a case of Caitlin Laws and her team being just that little bit off. Laurie St. George applying a lot of pressure, stealing another point, keeping that team in trouble. And in the Kate Cameron and Carrie Galusha made a double on her first. On her second, she had a chance for 3, just overthrew it a little bit. And Kate managed to steal one, got away with a lot of trouble.
You heard them say we don't know this intern side, Joe. Why is that?
They've only thrown one draw there, and it actually came up really light. It surprised the sweepers. That was in the 3rd end. This is really precise.
Yep. Just for weight. Yep. Just for weight. Back 4. Yep. Line. Line. Yep. Whoa, 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 whoa. Curl, 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 curl.
Okay.
Okay.
Shot rock.
Good edge there, guys.
Oh yeah, yeah. You can almost hit, get both reds.
Yeah.
You don't even need to stay.
Well, our first look at Manitoba and Kate Cameron against Carrie Galusha out of the Northwest Territories in Yellowknife Curling Club. For Galusha, an 18th appearance. We thought last year that it might be a last year, but no, this is now, in fact, she is announced. This will be her final Scotties, and the reason she's playing one more is because her daughter, Sydney, is part of the team and getting ready to throw her last here against Cameron.
Well, it's not a lack of ability that's taking her away from the game. Carrie Galusha has thrown lead stones but called the game. The last number of years we've seen her at the Scotties throwing last rock today. She's made some wonderful shots. She was lying 3 after her first. Kate came through the hole, hit and rolled. This is an attempt to move the red stone off the 4-foot and bring 2 or 3 into play.
Looks close.
So you got Shona Barber and Megan Kohler on the brush, and daughter Sydney is holding the broom. And how's that?
Very, very nice.
That's the way to go. Lovely. That's for 3.
Great
Just
shot.
like that, you're tied up.
I wasn't going to miss that one again.
Okay, we got this. We're at the room.
My weight was a bit better.
And it was all the line call.
Good call, Sid.
That's what her daughter's saying.
You're welcome, Mom.
Hey.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Nice effort by Danielle. Made the draw, but created some space. So with some spin here.
A little too much space.
What? Sit.
That's not coming back.
I thought they'd
I
hit
really
that a
backed
lot
up,
thicker and kill both red.
That backed up. Yeah. It was a bit of an in-out throw. Yeah. I
Okay.
didn't know how long.
Close more than you just threw.
I was gonna say, I think so. Like,
Same ice with like 2 feet more.
because we ended up with that weight, right?
Yeah, and you curled up to here
Yeah.
with like
So
back
I
button.
think I like that with just a hair more weight.
Yeah,
It should
I
run
really like
better.
that.
Yeah.
So a chance
to
to
fully
tie
miss
it
this
here.
rock.
Quiet
Okay.
tap on the yellow. Move it back far enough and count the shooter and that stone back edge of the 4.
The hit and roll by
Okay.
Christina Black actually hurt her. In hindsight, it rolled to a pocket area and made it difficult on her last one.
Like, oh, you're down the center line.
She
Just
must have backed that up,
fix it a
though.
little. Yep. I mean, good fix. Yeah. First peel waiter of the day is
Yes.
never pretty.
Needs to have absolutely perfect line on this.
Yeah, same weight. Yep, yep.
Weight's going.
Easy, easy. Whoa.
Whoa.
Shade heavier. Gotta be careful.
Whoa, straight.
Straight.
Whoa.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Curl.
Girl.
Curl. Curl.
Hard.
Curl. Whoa.
Melissa Daly,
Whoa.
just touch it, move it, and
Go, go,
sit.
go. Gotta go.
And sit.
Okay.
Oh, that's a bad break.
Good girl.
As it spins off, she'll get just a single. Ontario with just 1 here in 5. We're midway through on this Saturday afternoon, and Nova Scotia leads it by 1.
The 2025 Scotties Tournament of Hearts is presented by Cashmere Bathroom Tissue. Nothing feels like cashmere. By New Holland, proud sponsor of Curling Canada. By Montana's Barbecue and Bar, proudly Canada's home for barbecue since 1995. And by PointsBet, the official sports gaming partner of Curling Canada.
Ontario coach Steve Acorn with his team from the Ottawa Hunt and Golf Club as they find themselves down by 1. They've had their chances as we check the numbers after 5.
And it was really Team Black has had a good handle on the ice so far in the 4th, and they put all kinds of pressure on Danielle, who's a fantastic drawer, needed the pin and slid just too far, but she was so close in 5 to tying up this game with a really delicate tap. Christina Black with the solid edge here on Danielle Inglis.
Yeah, obviously, and it's the 2 misses that are the difference in the game. The numbers after 5 are brought to you by PointsBet, the official sportsbook and casino partner of Curling Canada. Stuart McLean, 4-time Brier participant, coach of Black and the team from the Halifax Curling Club. Mount McKay, located south of Thunder Bay. It is the highest point on the First Nation Reserve. Just a reminder, tomorrow, of course, first weekend of Scotties. Since her passing is Sandra Schmerler Day, as we raise money for neonatal intensive care units across the country. Sandra Schmerler Day tomorrow. Hello, little one. Now, what are you going to lick for? Oh, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. And don't forget the thumb. Okay, well, there you go. I knew that. It was natural. From that finger to the thumb. Looks like you're enjoying it.
Let it curl if you can.
Welcome back on this Saturday. Our first look at teams from Group B. Tonight at 7 Eastern, when we join you again, it'll be back to Pool A. And our feature will be the defending champions, Team Canada. Rachel Holman against Krista McCarville and her team from right here in Thunder Bay, Northern Ontario champions. We start the 6th. It's 3-2 Nova Scotia leading Ontario, and it is Christina Black from the Halifax Curling Club with Last Rock. They have the hammer playing the Yellowstones.
14% advantage here halfway through for Nova Scotia. And it shows on the scoreboard at some point it earned 1 up with, so it's certainly got control, but A steal can change things in a hurry here.
Well, and Daniela was 2 inches away from tying up this game, even though I agree with you, Russ. Nova Scotia has been in the driver's seat.
She got robbed in that one. It looked, she couldn't throw it much lighter, and it just hung there.
Clean. Whoa, 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 whoa. 15-5. Nice.
Very nice.
Spicy 8.
Yeah, I think so.
More and more teams are doing that, coming around full 8 foot as opposed to maybe full 4 foot, that foot and a half lighter. I just love the call. You get it in close to the button, somebody welds one in there on you, and you're running out of room to get your 2. This almost forces, in this case,
Yeah, I think we're going to have to go.
the opponent to get around it.
We gotta go. Oh my God. Yeah.
Hard, you gotta go. 16-3. Go, go, go. Whoa, yep. Get a biter.
Oh, I don't know what happened to that. Sorry.
Hey.
That felt like plenty out of her hand.
Yeah, I thought so too.
I thought the one
Oh, interesting. So forces us to talk a little bit about ice. What's the building like? We noticed last night that paths, Kathy, were slowing down. What's it like in there?
I'm not seeing the conditions we had last night. It's not flattening out. Last night it was a real struggle between teams that were just going through the house, and they go a little bit over and then they were short. I'm seeing the most consistent thing today is anybody that is throwing an out turn with any extra weight, it's tracking. You're not seeing movement like you saw yesterday. The building is colder, but it is heating up slowly as I look behind me at the gauge that is now 60, so it's gone up a couple of degrees. It's changing, and I think that these teams are on their first outing, as we saw last night. It's a learning process.
Boop-a-doop-doop. I think you still got to play them. Yeah.
That gauge is called a thermometer.
Well, it's a big round thing.
To that point,
You're
though,
putting this under your tongue to get your temperature, I'll tell you.
Oh, wow. Gloves are off. Game 2.
Oh, goodness. That's what. Thank you, because I wasn't going to stick it there. Oh, Lordy.
Great shot.
Oh,
Good job, Jen. Great shot.
Great shot.
This game has surprised me. Has it surprised you too?
It has been a team, Laws, that has not been off by a lot, but they have made some good shots. There's just not the consistency. And in every end in the last 3, if one big shot was made by Laws, there were 3s on the board, but they did not make them, and that is why Lori St. George is wanting them to death. Caitlin made a double on her first, but she wound up promoting Quebec in for shot. Lori guarded. This is a draw, needs the 4 foot for a single.
Yep. Sit. 17-2.
Wow, that's 3 successive steals, so a 4-0 lead. 76% as a team for Laws, 94% as a team for St. George.
Boy, that's an impressive number. Game number 1.
Jen Baxter, Jill Brothers.
Catch it. That's good. Sit.
Where will this go? And look at that.
Great shot.
how good
It's
is that?
undercover. Now there may be a wide hole there on that
Really good. Yeah.
intern side. Yeah, it's there right in the window.
Yeah, but moving it was so important.
Yeah.
Another update. Let's go 2-2 tie, playing 5, Newfoundland and Labrador against Manitoba.
Well, and Anderson putting a little bit more pressure on Newfoundland Labrador. Carrie's final stone was to be in the house and guarding the shot stone, but it over curled a little bit. And so for Brooke from the hack, she can see 3/4 of it. This is to be a soft shot, try to get to the face of the shot stone for the single.
Interesting situation. Godsland, too, has thrown only hits so far. And that's a big miss. That's a steal at 2 for Anderson.
Whichever turn you pick her, you've got to throw it hard.
Expect fresh pebble out here, Joe?
I think so. The other side, they went a little wider and both teams came up light, so I assume that the outside stuff is fresh.
This curls too.
Hard!
DeGroot.
Okay. That's good.
And he won't be able to hold it.
Good throw. What turn you seeing? You like 10 and a half? Okay.
The bailing out sooner sure worked well for Nova Scotia. You're one up with an even end here. You want to keep it as simple as you can for Christina Black, and that's what they've done.
That's, Kathy, you agree from what our discussion, that's the influence of brothers, don't you think?
It is, no question it is. And Christina said it was hard for her sometimes, but she is definitely having a more balanced approach to the game because of Jill.
So from that throw, Joe, can you see where she puts the brush down? They're looking at the same shot, the hit and roll, but the ice appears to be the same. Is that just due to the fact it's the thrower? Because it doesn't look like it's much different than Jill's ice.
Yeah, Danielle would have watched the throw from behind Christina, and sometimes your players are going to have a little bit of a variance. Jill might get a little bit more curl, or maybe she throws it a little straighter. So
right. And then maybe it was just inside, out of the hand, right?
Yeah,
okay.
Different weight.
All right.
Hard roll, really hard roll, hard. Okay.
Did get the roll.
Great throw.
Probably needed a bit more ice then, Vic.
Yeah, for sure.
What do you think? I'm over here just wallpaper?
There's something to that, though. The skips are watching every single line coming at them, but the other team may not throw the same way that your team throws. So, again, you're on a fact-finding mission out there. You're going to take all the information, carry the one, and then try to make the best guess for your team.
No. Please.
What was the, Kathy, what was the Chinese skip? Bing Yu Wang. Remember Bing Yu? I mean,
took 8 feet of ice for everything.
And so nobody would watch her and throw off of her. And
yeah, if a team was taking the edge of the 8 to the button, they were edge of 12.
Yes.
It was wild.
So in a case like that, Joe, you just forget watching them? You just play your own game then?
Yeah, and that's actually harder because there's less information available for your team.
Agreed. I think board there, it's a very calm curl. Okay. So trust, like, it will curl,
but not over curl. As we look at the sheet right now, it's tilted left to right, high on the left. So this will run much straighter.
And this way, it's climbing the hill.
Mm-hmm.
I think Danielle's term is gentle curl.
Yeah, you got it. You got it.
These are tough. It's top 12, so you have to hit it pretty hard to remove it from play. You really want to keep your shooter, though, because you know Christina's going to try to come around this situation on the left side of the screen.
Yeah.
Like you can, whatever you see.
Just board.
Learn in these situations, too, if you play on this type of ice, that you can't be wide in a straight spot on release, and you don't want to be narrow on a swingy spot with the other turn.
Skip Stone's here in 6, and Danielle Inglis. Another U Sport champion, played with Holly Duncan when they won for Laurier back in 2008. Interestingly enough, they went their separate ways, and it was Duncan that handed her first loss at the Provincials.
Okay, good. Sorry, I didn't want them to roll quite that far.
Yeah, I know.
Team Ontario brushed the roll, and skipper didn't want that, because the closer that was to center, the better, because now there's more room to bury around this corner guard.
They wanted to roll away from the corners, but stay where they can't make the come around and be shot.
Yeah, we're thinking like a 30.
Like, speed's good. At least 2 rocks, like 2 rocks above the tee line would be great.
2 rocks above the tee line. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, we're like a 30-35, I think.
Yeah. I have to start on this side of center, so it might run a little straighter for longer.
Is that the blue hone insert we were looking at right there?
No question. Curling Canada's got so many pairs of rocks now, but they all have the same inserts. They doctor them up before play, sand them up once, maybe twice during the week.
Line's great.
I got here late.
Go ahead. We're at 5. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay.
5, 6. Room. Close. Yep. 6. Yep.
couple of stones in front of the tee line is what they wanted. And it'll be a couple of stones, or at least one, behind the tee line.
Darn.
You might have a piece of it the other way too.
You know this spot.
You know the spot right there is good. Yeah, straight draw.
It's the out, huh? That just allows her to get out of this.
Yeah, and just a little bit of a misread. Ran a little bit faster than they expected.
15-1 for that. So, or 15.
We talk about the striking bands a lot, Russ, because of the fact the stones are so lively.
Yeah, they really are. They're all reconditioned a couple years back, and the thinner the striking band, the more lively, and it's just spectacular for the players. We saw a triple yesterday, partly through the game, with like board weight at most.
I mean, you think about some curling clubs, and the bands are as wide as the stone itself.
It's true.
So this is your chance, if you're Ontario and Inglis, to glue one right to the corner.
Top 4, top 8. Okay, play the weight. It's still running.
Nothing yet from Daly. Now she picks it up on the right. DeGroot is on the left.
Have a look. Have a look.
Can't be heavy. Curl.
Yeah, go.
Curl. Can't be heavy.
No, we're not. Go.
Great chance to really
Curl, curl, curl.
take this end away, and that's very nice.
Really nice. Good. Great weight.
Good judge, guys. Yeah, that ran nicely.
What's it worth?
Really quick in that spot. I had a 15-6.
And they didn't brush it a ton either.
15-5.
Are you, we just saw
Speedy.
Christina making her way back up the ice, Joe, and are you kicking yourself a little bit?
Oh, yeah.
Great.
And part of being a skip now is
Christina, like you
have to let that go. She's throwing in a different line. She has the forefoot, and it'll be frustrating, but can't give up a steal here.
Yeah, it changes things so drastically. If you make that perfect top 8 for Team Nova Scotia, you probably have a 50-50 chance of getting your deuce. Now you got to make a good one, or it's a steal.
Very similar.
Weight's really close. 7. T-line.
Not the best numbers in terms of draw weight. Needs a good piece of the 4.
Easy for T-line. Great.
Okay, we're a 7. Looks there. Yeah, we're a 7. Stay very close.
7 would be the button.
No need to sleep.
T-line weight, 7.
No need to pick. I like Carly's dance around. Yeah. Very nice. Good.
There you go, right to the back of the lid. That's a great.
Good.
You kick yourself and then say, I'll do that. They're up by 4-2. Mentioned yesterday, the last ship to leave the harbor was a month ago, early January, and then it'll be March. They'll break some ice and they'll be open for another season of shipping here. A lot of wheat, of course, and potash making its way to the East Coast from here in Thunder Bay. And this is the start of our busy season in our season of champions. From here in Thunder Bay, we'll head to Kelowna, Montana's Briar. Then we'll have the Women's World Champion. The winner of this will represent Canada in Korea. And then we'll wind it up in Moose Jaw, beginning March 29th with the Men's World Curling Championship. So lots of curling ahead before we wind up that first weekend of April. Welcome back to Thunder Bay, Fort William Gardens on this Saturday afternoon, first weekend. Nova Scotia, nice draw. As Christina Black gathered herself up, made the draw for the 1, and here in the 7th, it's Ontario. Danielle Inglis that will have last rock, has the hammer, playing the red stones and trailing by 2.
Okay, 11. Okay, you got it.
11, yeah.
Tick the yellow Nova Scotia rock on that center line, but left it on the center line, so it didn't have to remove your own.
Carly Everest on the left, Jill Brothers.
Okay, wow.
Whoa.
It's just so straight there, and she was just poppy and heavy. 10-6.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Okay.
Slightly heavy, slightly wide in a straight spot, and they got lucky that they missed it wide enough that it missed the back rock.
Carly is originally from Thunder Bay, so she's come home to play in the Scotties.
I thought it was there.
8.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
4-0 Quebec. They scored one in the first, have stolen 3, 4, and 5 as we pick up play in 6 now.
And what you couldn't see is there's another stone belonging to Quebec underneath where Selena was standing. Lori St. George came in on her last one, so a nose hit or the double only means 1 for Caitlin. So this is the attempted triple.
The last one. Yeah. Right on that half.
Ranked number 5 in Canada. Caitlin Laws out of the Heather Curling Club won and drives it by. And so it's a steal of one more. Yeah, that's the second shot.
That was
at around 9 o'clock.
So close to making them all go away for 3.
She killed it at head 10. I didn't kill it. I don't. But it has something on it. We're back line. Oh, back line. Yeah. Curl. Back line still.
Whoa,
Straight. Straight. Hit.
straight. We're like taking out our own. Okay. Good call on the weight. Yeah. 13-7.
Nova Scotia sitting the one under cover.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Back 4.
Back button.
You hear Nova Scotia saying that Jen Baxter, she came out, it felt like there was something under the rock. So you try to loosen it, and sometimes you accidentally shove it a bit, and I think that's what we saw there.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, big right now.
First little bit of a pick we've seen.
Where? Through.
Back line.
Through.
Yeah.
Go to the back one.
Whoa.
Gotta watch going through the yellow port here. They gotta make a decision.
Just a little bit. Yep. A little bit. A little bit. Yep. And okay, that's fine. Sure. Yep, that's fine.
So opens it up at least to Shot Rock and moves that second shot, peeking out the outturn side a little.
Probably that one. Start to come around it. Just down here. Yeah. Just bite the button.
Yeah, I think so. It's very quick here.
Yeah.
What are you thinking, Jill?
25, 30?
Sure. I think a 30, yeah.
We're really close. No, never.
Okay,
Never.
line's good. Top button.
Straight to the side, it's almost always quicker.
Never.
Okay, well then.
No.
Whoa.
We're slowing down.
Just bite the top button.
We are slowing down.
7. Top button.
No.
Let it curl.
No, you're gonna have to go.
Gotta curl a lot. Knife it.
We're there. We're T-line.
Yep. Nice.
Good.
And they get to the button.
14-7. It's just like there's no curling.
4-2, Carrie Anderson leads. Remember now in 5, they stole 2 to take the lead, Kathy.
Well, the pressure now on the team from Newfoundland. Carrie Anderson was very Carrie Anderson-like in this last end, made a lovely soft weight tap to lie 2 buried on her final. And so for Brooke, she needs the hearts to score.
Yep. Yes, line. Gotta go line.
Back four.
Yes, line, guys.
Just her
hard.
second draw of the game
Really hard.
for the skip, Brooke Gosland from the St. John's Curling Club Remax Center.
Good.
Look at that.
Very nice.
Wow.
No nerves.
Take that. Great shot. Very nice.
Shot. They can't do a whole lot this
Where do you
way.
like?
A guard? I like out. Yeah.
We are shot, right?
Yeah.
Yes. It's hard to see on the.
We are.
With the
Yeah,
colors.
you are. Nova Scotia is Shot Rock just biting the back of the button.
Okay. 45.
Fully guard this one.
Yeah,
I
because
think even like a 50, Jill, like let's just be high.
the reds at the top of the 4-foot are a little bit overlapped, so Ontario can't promote the one you see on the right-hand side of the screen. It's always scary throwing up a guard when you're sitting
Isn't it?
first, but the other team's second and third.
Yeah.
I don't know what you play instead
True.
for Nova Scotia.
When she says, Russ, let's just protect our Shot Rock, do they just mean, obviously protect it. You want to overlap it maybe just to stagger with that guard?
I don't think so in this case. I like the length too. It's back to what Joanne said. The red one on the left that's coming into play that's touching the center line. You can't raise it anywhere. You're certainly not going to hit the yellow one. And raising the right hand one's going to miss the yellow one. So it's kind of protected. So that's why they just do the straight guard.
Like that? Okay.
What was the weight?
You could probably run the yellow, hit as much of the left red in the forefoot as possible and sit two.
I think that's the call. Just playing normal weight here.
Still enough rock slap too after this that Ontario can get at their own and tap them up.
Whoa! 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 Curl! Curl!
Just straight.
Curl!
Oh, boy.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, caught in between, didn't know what to do.
We're gonna just make the double though.
Is it going over top or in?
I thought that was a little bit heavy. Considering normal weight, would that have been a normal weight shot? Did you? Because you said they'll just throw normal weight.
I missed the time. It did look a little bit firm. That might have been why it didn't curl quite as much.
If you think it's jamming, then we would just hit the one. But I think it goes over the. I think we push it straight over.
That never jams. Just hit it on the left-hand side with speed, and they both fly out of there beautifully. The negative after making this, though, is there's quite a little yellow nest at the back.
And if it does hit this one, we'll still be sitting 1 and 2 probably.
Depends on how it rolls.
Yeah.
It's never hitting those yellows.
Yeah.
Right?
There's a good angle of it there. You hit the left one towards our camera angle. The closest one comes right at the camera angle.
Are you throwing that big weight again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you like there? Throw it a little better?
Yeah. Bring it back a little bit.
Yeah.
You got it.
If you hit this thick and it did drag a little bit, it's still going to go out of the rings. Might tick off the yellow, but it's going out. Firm weight here.
I think if I hit it like,
I think even
it goes straight. No, nose it jams.
Yeah, if you hit
but if I hit it on the side, it will go
Sometimes we get
sideways.
confused with these because we talk about the drag effect when rocks are close together, but because they're not overlapped enough, you won't get the drag.
You were here before, yeah. Okay, you got this. Right out there.
You might have to play a bit more weight.
7.5.
Yeah.
Christina Black, first skip stone. Here in 7. Harley Everest.
Stay with red. Stay with red.
There you go.
She hit it way thicker than she wanted to. Still good.
Still sitting 3.
A little skinnier, I probably get it out all the way.
Now you're just trying to help Russ.
That's right.
Stay with red. Stay with red.
Hit quite a bit of that.
Yeah, it didn't back up as much as I thought it would.
No.
It was sweeping the whole way. I thought it was going to go a little bit more back.
Well, the first one that we backed up, like I helped it back.
It was the throw.
The directionally back, right?
It's just enough slant in the sheet, Joanne, that they're getting fooled a bit on some of them, right? They're not quite. That's the swingier of the two sides.
Yeah, and I think we heard the conversation, just the different releases. A little straight on release. They run very straight on this surface, is what it appears to be.
In that case, so you can put a broom down.
I think Danielle's opting to just tap this back a little bit.
We want to make sure we get to nose. Like even if it's just back 4 and tap, that's fine too.
Yeah, let's make it. You got it.
Back 8. Back 4. Off, please. Whoa. Back 8. Whoa. Back 8. Cass. Curl.
Hard.
The side should move.
Hard.
Cass is Cassandra de Groot.
Curl.
Really coming off.
Curl. 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 Curl.
Okay. Good throw.
So shot stone for the moment, Ontario.
Yeah, I was like, how am I doing
Oh, there's a
that?
guard there.
You could hit it off that one, but then I'm potentially.
You might lose those 2 yellows.
I'm gonna lose both of them, but
Yeah.
if I can keep my shooter,
Yeah,
what if
or we
I
just tap it
what
and
if
sit
I
shot.
kind of nose it and just tap it, and then I'm sitting one, and it might be hard to deal with. You know what I mean? Just tap it and be shot right there. You like that?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Do we ever try to get across it?
I'm never.
That guard? No.
I'm never.
Yeah. You have to be quite.
I'd have to be so skinny, like, to get on the inside corner. I think that's almost impossible.
Okay.
Because in order to throw enough weight to hit
I got
that
you.
little of it, I think just on the nose.
Just
to
you want to
there.
just get to here, get it to here to get shot, right?
Yeah, exactly. Just throw back, just back here, wait.
Yeah, and we want to stay, if anything, on the inside of it.
Only problem with this is you bump the red one back into that type of area, then your yellows, hopefully, for Nova Scotia's sake, somewhere in there. When the next shot's made, the red one at the back is not going to go anywhere. It's just going to stay in this type of area, so there's still a good chance to score 2.
That's max, because you have to move it.
You'd love to bang it out of there, but the point was you might peel out a couple of your own, and then there's a potential 3.
Should be close.
Yeah, they talked about trying to play top weight and get really far to the inside. It's just there's not a ton of space to work with.
And that corner guard's kind of in the way to throw any weight across the face of it.
Just like
It's really high. It might be there, but
I think if you could nose it with normal and save 2 yellow,
Look at 15.
but
No,
they're all tricky.
We're like a 20, 25 for back.
You think it's that fast on this spot?
I think so.
Okay.
Okay, let's do it.
your shooter
You got this right to her.
count too.
It's a little heavy.
Final stone for Nova Scotia, Christina Black.
Back 12. Whoa, then. Coming down a bit.
Whoa, off.
Back 12. Back 8.
Baxter left, Everest right.
Back 12. Curl. Back 12. Curl. Back 8. Curl.
Now Baxter trying to help this over, knife it over. Now the carry. Keep it straight for Everest.
Okay, my fault.
The curly side, they
That really
lost
came
it.
down the way.
Yeah. When I started,
it was back eight, so yeah.
I think that side's a little slow. That's why I threw a little more.
Wait.
Shoulder?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Early carve too would have taken
Yeah.
the weight off,
Yeah.
moved it into a slower line.
You mentioned that last night. It happened a lot in the McCarville game, didn't it?
over
there,
Yes.
for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Shoot.
The sweeping technique
There's
doesn't
the
slow
middle's
it
a
down.
bit
It
sludgy right now.
helps the rock curl a bit more, and once it
lost
catches
both
that
of those.
inner line, that's where they find the
You might need a bit more
And it's
than
not
your-
going
Pressure
forward
pebble.
that way. Great opportunity to tie this thing up.
See to tap and roll
Yeah,
off of
okay.
it.
Yeah.
So, I was thinking if I wanted less ice.
I like it.
Okay.
What kind of weight are you thinking? Similar?
Yeah,
Okay.
similar.
Hammer and 8.
Yep. Okay. Yep. Take it.
Could probably get unlucky and hit that back yellow perfectly dead on. The danger here cannot over curl.
A little more. Back 8. Back 12.
Don't have to move it very
Back
far.
12.
It's where the shooter spins.
Yes.
Hard.
You can hold the rock.
Hard cast.
Final stone here in 7.
Straight.
Chance for a couple for Ontario.
Clean.
Push it back, settle down, and very nicely done. 2. Inglis, Ontario, here in 7. We're tied at 4. Ontario, Nova Scotia is our feature on this Saturday. First Saturday afternoon. Pool B and the deuce by Ontario. Very nice last shot, Danielle Inglis. Ranked number 11 in our country. Trying to win Ontario's first championship since Rachel Holman won for Ontario in 17. Joe. And the last Nova Scotia champion was Colleen Jones in 2001.
That's great. You got 15.
Here in this 8th, Nova Scotia with Last Rock. They have the hammer playing the
Very
Yellowstone.
nice. Thanks. 15.
So. Oh, hair less for this rock.
So here she is, the Thunder Bay native, Carly Everest.
5. Liked it. I really liked it, Jill.
Just toppy.
Waist nice.
Talking in the break, it's game is largely controlled by Team Nova Scotia. Just Christina Black, while she's made some really precise shots, she's just had some uncharacteristic misses on a few opportunities, and all of a sudden tied up in the 8th end. Team Inglis is definitely still in this one.
Nice sweeping.
Just turns out you just get to sweep them all anyway.
Thank you. Yeah. So 14 and a half, you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feels big right now, but.
Back 8. Okay, close. Starting to bend.
There's a gamble here. Go right around everything. It'll definitely finish here if they can get the speed right.
Where are we? T-line. Okay, well then, whoa. You gotta drop it short. Or even. Yep. Behind, hard. Okay.
Just stayed on that earlier. Might have been able to hide it buried. Shot rock.
Now what? Oh, it's not great. No.
Just peel.
Tough situation if
We're
you're.
number 1.
You run the peel back, you're leaving Ontario sitting
I think
two.
if we hit and roll, that just leaves them the same shot,
You could
doesn't
just
it?
straight peel,
You
right?
do what they just suggested, hit the
I
one
think
that was just
so, yeah.
thrown. It gives them the same
I think we're
come
gonna go
around.
straight peel.
Yeah.
So they're not going to run it back, just open it up.
All right, let's go over to Quebec and Manitoba, and this is Groundhog Day. This is we've seen this before.
We have a lot of pressure. If you look at Lottie St. George's shots, almost all of them have been guards. Her team has put her in a great position to just keep protecting. And for Caitlin, she cannot run her only guard sideways because there's a long red guard belonging to Quebec just over the hog line. So this again is another double run.
So it's red onto red to get red and hopefully score your stone top 8. Here we go, bang, bang, and drives it by, and so it will be a steal of one more. My gosh. So St. George has stolen the game the entire way. All 6 points are stolen.
One of those games,
Just
isn't it, for
tight now. Okay, a
Caitlin?
little
She's
bit
not
more.
far
Yeah,
off,
just
but they're all high degree of difficulty. She's under 50%. And every time she comes up, it's a picket fence.
And that's exactly it, Russ. So you look at those numbers and you say, oh, she must be playing poorly. But the degree, of it's always double runs and it's always angles.
Okay, but let me just ask you for.
Yes, sir.
Well, the big change for that Quebec team is the addition of Lisa Weigel at lead. And you were talking about the setups and everything that's led to St. George playing nothing but guards. Has Weigel had that much influence, do you think?
She certainly has in terms of strategy, I think, for this team, as well as just being very comfortable at this Scotties. This is where she lived for so many years.
And keep this one maybe back here.
Yep. You can still throw 11.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like 11.
Yeah.
Okay. 11, is that the call?
Yeah.
Okay.
About a half a rock. Okay. Yeah.
Something
that
to
top
wait
one,
here, I'm assuming, to save shot rock. So maybe hit half of this, quarter of this, try to save this one also. Tough to do. Tough to keep 3 yellows in the rings here.
Whoa. 11, 2.
Really good.
Nice
Great shot,
play.
Jace. That's really great. 10-9.
Yeah, that works.
10-9. Okay, great weight.
Still got a lot of work to do, but there's a ton of yellow in there,
Great.
no guards.
Yeah. I really want to see those angles, though, so if they could get off.
Like a guard, no?
Not the close up.
You don't like a guard? Okay, yep.
Yeah.
2.5.
Weight's nice.
Yeah, a little tempting to eliminate a yellow rock just because there is 3 in the rings, but I mean, a steal in 8 here would be huge for Ontario.
The red double's not there either at the moment, so yeah, I don't mind this at all.
Just 2.
Should really finish.
3. Okay. Whoa.
Yep. 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 Hard. Whoa. Hard. Yep. 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 Whoa. Hold it. Yep. That's fine. 17. Okay. Thank you. Every time we throw that path, it gets faster.
Yeah.
Could play the rocket double off that left red.
Yeah.
And try to open it up here and kill one of the reds.
What do you like this turn at all?
I'm
go
good
back.
either way.
Yeah, it'll go back straighter.
Either way.
Okay, this one.
Just a hair on the center line side. Clip the yellow onto the frozen red.
Yep.
Easy peel.
Whoa. Whoa.
You gotta tell me.
Yeah.
Got it.
Good. Pretty
And we'll
good.
drive it through.
That works, Jill.
Anderson and Manitoba up 4-3 on Newfoundland and Labrador, Kathy.
Well, that red stone to the left of the center line was Brooke Goslin's final stone. They called a timeout to discuss what to do. They were trying to get to the corner froze position in the forefoot. It died very, very fast. Be interesting to see if Carrie was timing that or if she throws a little bit more. This is a draw for 2, but does need the forefoot.
All right, so our first look, Kristen Karwacki on the left, of course, joined the team before last year's Scotties, and Carly Burgess now in for Shannon Burchard and with the team through the Scotties and wherever they wind up. And that will slide too far, my. So that's just a missed opportunity there for Carrie Anderson.
Dangerous play here for Ontario. They're guarding the simple raise, and obvious reasons it would be a really easy top to sit a couple. But if Nova Scotia wants to take on this left-hand double, they'll be sitting 3, 2 of them buried.
Yeah, Jill Brothers connecting on that run back leaves a very lonely red in there.
Yeah, they didn't look at this.
Or you can run that way.
The far end called that shot for Danielle and said, let's just guard it. I think it's worth it. It's not the hardest double in the world. Straight side, out turn.
Yeah. Let's do it.
You like it? Yep.
This is right up Jill's alley.
Yep.
All right.
You got her.
Close, Jen.
Okay, you got it.
In turns, this will curl a little.
No. No.
No. Got a curl. Got a curl. 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 Touch it. Okay. Try. Shoot.
It's easy from up here, but I think just threw that a little out of her comfort zone. Just threw it really hard, and that's where the errors come in. Hindsight, you could probably throw normal there and make
Thinking
that.
like board.
Whatever you know.
Yeah. Board. Okay.
Yep. You got it.
Back a hair. And it was like, oh no. Yeah, because I know the side does curl. Yeah, I think inside out peels though will just always run. Yeah, very straight. Yeah, I was thinking of the one you
Yeah, this spot should be just fine.
Just that hair bit stickier everywhere right now. But
yeah.
Just
You got
can't
it.
get that knockout punch, Nova Scotia. That's it,
Yeah,
right?
had lots of good chances.
Yeah.
I don't hate this.
Well, I just don't love leaving all the yellows around in there.
This one.
Like, because if they ever
It's not
play-
hard for her to outcount us.
Oh no, or do I call a timeout?
So I'm just looking there. Yeah, we draw.
You have room, like
We
you
just
don't have
never
to be
wanna
by
leave
it.
a
You can
double
be here.
timeout.
Deep, if anything.
That's scary.
But-
Yeah, that is scary.
Do you want to come back down?
That is-
Northwest Territories lead by 1, 4-3 over Kate Cameron
Play to touch it. And if
out of Winnipeg, and it is Cameron with the last rock.
Well, they're just taking a look at it now. I was surprised they didn't look at it before. Taylor going from the front to the back. It is Kate Cameron already lying 2, maybe 3. And I wondered if they might try to play the tap on the back one. Carrie Galusha coming up short and crashing on a guard on her final stone that was a draw attempt.
Center line, wait. Close. Off, Cat.
Last year, Cameron was a bronze medalist, going 7 and 4.
You're past it, so just let it sit. Yeah, that's good.
And that will work. Look at that now. So count them: 1, 2, 3, and a look around. And it appears it could be 4.
I think they're going to measure that one. I think they'll measure that one.
Okay.
Let's put a stick on it.
Yeah, I think
maybe.
So.
Yeah.
So 3 for sure, and we'll update you as soon as they've finished the measure.
Okay, just don't touch it then.
I pull 4. This is minimum ice.
Well, we need it to get under, right? So we just need pull 4, I think, is our goal.
Still that quick 35
Still a chance for a skips 2 here. The well-placed draw here.
Exactly. Okay. Just like even just full 4.
Yeah.
Nothing's changed. The spot's the same. Okay.
Nice to hear. 8th end, curling into the center path we had struggled with.
I totally see what you mean there, too.
Speed still holding up.
That's
Mine's great.
like we got it. You're on it all the way.
Yep.
5, 6.
Come on, the whole way.
We need 6.
Yeah, we gotta go.
Top full 4. Line's great.
Yep.
Hard.
Line's good.
Line's still great. Hard.
Push, Carly.
Hard. Drag it. Drag it. Hard.
Hard. Hard. Whoa.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. Good sweet.
Yeah, no, I just had a
Try,
40.
guys. Sorry. Darn. Sorry.
Okay.
It's the
Sorry, Carly. I knew I was just a little.
interesting. Both
Yeah, that first shot was
skips
guard
are
right there.
struggling with their
That's probably
opposite
an easier shot to throw
draws, favoring black, hits favoring
That's what we're talking about.
Inglis. On the scoreboard, we're all tied up at 4.
Put it on, like, you pull it
Numbers are
back.
brought to you by
corner
New
of
Holland,
the-
proud sponsor of Curling Canada.
Yeah.
A lot of ice.
Yeah.
There should be close. Yeah.
I cannot hit this
Right
early.
here.
I think that's max. You want to ask?
It's a play here just to guard the out-turn draw.
I think that's what they're doing. I'd be a little tempted to come in and sit
100%.
2 here.
Yeah.
For sure. So anywhere. You just got to get full 8 foot. You eliminate chances.
Okay.
There's a run back for 2
Think
if
that's
you make this guard. Straight back run back
Based
on
where
that red
mine
one.
were going? Just a. Yeah, I like that.
You give a
Wow.
little bit. Yeah.
I mean, in fairness, the come around is on the straight side, and you're coming around a rock that's in the top 8 foot
Yeah,
area.
you got it. Let's make it.
It is tough if you happen to not get it under or something like that. You might leave a double for a pile.
2.
It's hanging here.
Boom.
Clean.
Line's good. Easy. It's all the line. Whoa.
Yes, you have to
Easy.
go.
Go ahead if you're light.
Give her there. 2.
Curl. Hard, Calissa. Hard. Both you. Hard. Hard. Yep. Hard.
Good.
Hard. Hard.
Good.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah. What kind of weight do you like? Maybe.
I mean,
8.5.
Yeah, 8.5
Because you
firm is
want to
just-
lose the 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
For 2.
Just give me a little.
Not that it's
little
easy,
ice.
but there's
Little
you don't
bit,
see
little
any
more.
risk. I
Yeah.
guess if you hit a lot of the red that's frozen, it might wiggle in there. But at this level, you don't like leaving shots like
Just
this.
on the nose with like 8.5. Great. Okay, you got this.
Dead on's pretty close.
Yep.
Whoa.
No.
Shoot. Make sure we don't.
Now watch the red here now. If you're going to high side it, be careful.
Tried it by and through, and away it goes.
One.
Wow. What a turnaround.
Yeah.
Ontario with the steal to take the lead. Well, what do you know? It's a complete turnaround after trailing 3-1. through 4, and at the breakdown, look at what Ontario's managed to do. Score 2 and 7, steal 1 and 8, and now Danielle Inglis from the Ottawa Hunt and Golf Club find themselves up by 1. As we welcome you back on this Saturday afternoon.
How much, sorry? Half.
And we want to go over to the game between Quebec and Manitoba, because it's been all St. George, and it's an all stolen game. St. George, Kathy stole in 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And currently, that equals the stolen ends record of 6.
Well, Caitlin won't be happy to hear that stat, but it has been a struggle. She has been chasing. Laurie St. George has put so much pressure. Every single one of Laurie's in the last 5 ends has been top of the 12-foot or full 12-foot. So that tells you the shape that she's been in. Caitlin tried to run on her first one, wound up picking her own out and missing the targeted shot. This is an off this corner one to try to get to shot stone against 5.
Final stone for Caitlin Laws out of the Heather in Winnipeg. Here we go. If you got something in this time, and no, you will not. So that will be another stolen. It looks 2 points, actually. And so that will be a record. The previous number was 6. And so Jackie Rintoul for Manitoba won 9-1 over Sheila Rowan of Saskatchewan. That was 85. And 87, Heidi Hanlon of New Brunswick stole 6 in an 11-1 win over Karen Gould of Alberta.
I don't know if it's slowing down that side a little bit.
Is this max?
Not with this turn and this rock. I don't.
So we talked about earlier the addition of Lisa Weigel, but with Emily Riley, that front end for Quebec, 96%. So they've done a lot of nice setups to make it a little easier for Laurie St. George.
94 as a team.
No, and for that front end, it's not only about draw weight, but it is precise draw weight. They weren't going deep. They weren't giving Caitlin opportunities to freeze. Very precise.
So Nova Scotia trying to shake this off as they find themselves down by 1. They do have Last Rock playing the Yellowstones here in 9.
First time all game we've seen a corner guard on this side of the sheet going in this direction. In theory, with the shape of the sheet, this should be the side with more swing.
Should be easier to sink it.
Trying. 7. 8.
It's starting to curl big.
T-line.
We're there.
Whoa. Yep.
Curl.
Carly, curl.
Whoa. Nice.
Good.
Okay, it's a new way.
It's like
Got
coming
that in
down
easy.
there when they curl.
Yeah. We didn't touch it at all.
Back to that Quebec-Manitoba game, Caitlin down 8-0's elected to play, and I really agree with that. There'll be a lot of people complaining, but why not? They're close on a lot of their shots. You know, stay out there, get some feel. You know, it's not like you're tired.
Well, the other thing too is, and I'll leave this to Joe. I mean, don't you as Quebec, you want to get some experience too? It's first game. If this was end of round robin, you might be a little different, but Quebec will probably appreciate the time too, wouldn't they?
Oh yeah, I get to see what the ice is doing for another end. Absolutely.
That's fine.
It looks like they're going to put in Becca Hebert to let her have a couple of rocks as well, which is never a bad idea to put in your 5th. That's for Manitoba.
For Caitlin Laws, she plays Kate Cameron tomorrow morning. You're going to want to at least leave the ice surface with a strong sense that you know draw weight, you know what it does. And I don't know that they have the confidence with that right now.
At 30. I like that.
You don't ever leave the driving range on a bad one.
I do.
That's why Kathy built a house on the range.
To your broom. Just past your broom.
Yes?
Just past your broom.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Is that where that song "Home on the Range" comes from?
I like to have a hand. I have a 38. I have 33.
Hey, you got it.
Might take on the run back here, Russ. Pretty tight guard to the rings.
Yeah, it makes some sense. You can always roll to the center, which could pay dividends.
Hard! Whoop, roll it your way.
Melissa
Towards that
Daly.
hard roll. Hard roll. All the way over. All the way. Okay. Good call.
5-3 Anderson, Manitoba leading Newfoundland and Labradors. Brooke Godsland, and after a slow start, Anderson putting more pressure on.
She is, but I also think the difference is Carrie herself. Earlier in the game, she was trying to play a blank, just ticked it over, gave up a steal, was trying to play a blank and stuck it. But Carrie's playing much better now, putting much more pressure on Brooke. There is a way to get shot, needs to get to the face of the stone in the forefoot and tap it back, but cannot roll off.
You remember earlier she made a wonderful draw.
She did.
Against 2 or 3, and here, look at this. Oh my, very nice. Brooke Godsland again.
What a nice player.
Yeah, no kidding.
That is so impressive. Your first game at the Scotties.
Yeah.
Wow.
Tick the top when you give up a million. A really good throw.
49. That works. Nice patience. It was
Thanks.
out
Yeah,
there.
yeah, it's good.
Okay.
And just celebrated her birthday a couple of days ago. So a belated happy birthday to Brooke Godsland.
14-8.
Maybe a hair deep in that come around, Joanne.
Yeah, I think so. If Danielle locks this on, that scoring area gets a lot smaller.
It could have gone open side or even frozen to the back red. Separation. I liked the call, though, if it had been top 8.
Yeah. We'll be patient. You got it.
Yeah.
So playing a freeze, they said?
Less, please. Thanks.
Danielle makes a ton of these.
The only thing you can't do here is bounce off.
Well,
Want to be second shot. Don't
can
have
you
to
see
necessarily
enough of
be-
it just to chip it out, or would you even consider something like that?
I think that's tough.
Okay.
Not worth it either, Vic. You chip it out, you roll open, you're giving up 2 anyways.
All right.
Top 8. Still running. Play the way. Top 10. Still running. Easy. Line's done. Just go. 3, 4. Hard. Distance.
Gotta get second here.
Fully.
Oh, boy.
Wow.
Oh my God.
So Nova Scotia
Yeah, this is the straighter way. So
Yeah.
how
sitting 2. Wow.
Right there.
do you think that's?
Even if I'm like here, right?
Do you think that's max?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
I do. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, you got it.
And the bad news for Ontario is that thrown stone acts as another guard on shot rock
Doesn't
here.
it? Yeah.
It's really in the way.
So are you trying to cozy up to your shot stone? Is that what you're doing here?
Yeah, just get a piece under here if you're Nova
Okay.
Scotia.
Yeah.
We're thinking give us the same that you gave us here, because we
You
don't want to be
can throw
heavy.
here more. Like probably go 35.
And it's a little straighter going this way, right?
There's no phenomenal spot to put this because you go, let's say top 8, partly
35, 40 in that
buried,
range.
and Ontario freezes like they tried.
Exactly. Bite the 4.
You still got a tough 2, but you don't have too many choices here.
Yeah, this is the straighter side.
Yeah.
Even if they're a little bit light, it's hard to come around everything. And
Yes.
you're looking at 3, though.
Yeah, yeah. I'd like to bury enough here that Ontario doesn't take a crack at the double or triple.
Really close.
We're really close.
Line's done.
Go, babe. You gotta go, babe.
Christina Black and her first.
Just bite the 4.
Baxter.
You gotta go, babe. We gotta go. Go, yeah.
Now Everest.
Hard you going. Hard you got.
Boy, did they leave this a little too late. And oh, look at that. They'll get the rub, the roll, and it appears they are sitting the 3 for the moment.
Pardon?
I had 30. The weight just came off.
Oh, yeah.
15 gauge. Yeah. We gotta go. Go, yeah.
Just said it snapped on them. Surprised everyone, but ninth end, middle of the ice, a little bit pebble kind of wears down, and you can see that sometimes.
She was heavy with that rock once, but you made the point earlier. I wonder if that one's a hair slower.
Slower, just a little bit more curl on that
I've
one.
seen the intern, but the outturn might be easier to manage actually.
The danger with this double is, where does that go? They'd be really careful.
I think we have to roll pretty flat, so
They're going
normal.
to try to hit the back one here. Roll it in this way.
Normal hand roll. And
You got it.
Can you get shot rock?
I don't think so.
No.
But there's quite a bit of real estate to roll to sit second.
Yeah.
Normal?
Normal. Yep.
You got it. Let's make it.
Yeah.
Huge shot here.
Haven't seen a pile of these either.
No.
Inside out, normal weight hits.
No.
Normal.
Close. Yep. Hard.
Alyssa Daly. All by herself now, looking for the roll, and they'll sit right there. And goodness, looking at giving up 3.
I really don't know what that's going to do.
This one?
I never really.
Just like an 11, I think, right there.
Middle of the rock?
Or 10 and a half, right there.
Okay, you got it.
I like changing turns here. You know, you've just seen it, but it really curls on the outturn side. Here you can protect a bit. Don't have to overthrow it. The brusher should be able to hold it, and you've got some room for air rolling to the, as we look at it, to the right. You've got 8 feet of roll room. Because you can't roll an inch left.
Yeah. Lots of time. Take a breath. And like you threw here, Jen, and it was like
tight ice it. Use your sweepers.
Yeah.
Pin.
really straight.
Pin straight, yeah.
Trust yourself.
Yeah, you got it.
Wow. You just gave up a steal of 1 to give up the lead, and now a chance for 3. The lead by 2 coming home.
10-5.
Final stone, Nova Scotia, Christina Black.
Curl. Go. Easy.
Clean.
Everest dusted. Here we go. Roll it a little bit, and there they are.
I gotta go eat.
Nova Scotia cracks a 3 in the 9th. Well, this has gone back and forth in the last 3 ends, hasn't it? After Ontario picked up the steal of 1 to take the lead, Nova Scotia responds with a 3 in the 9th. Now lead at 7-5. Welcome back on this first Saturday coverage of the Scotties, the Canadian Women's Curling Championship. Started out well for Nova Scotia, very much in control. But there you go. There's that deuce in 7 by Inglis and Ontario. Then the steal of 1 took the lead. There's that big 3 now. 7-5. They lead it. Ontario down by 2, but do have the last rock coming home. They have the hammer playing the Redstones.
Okay. Line's good.
Wasn't that dangerous an end for Danielle either. If she makes the freeze with her first rock, it's probably a force.
All right, Kathy, what do we got here? Laws has a chance to get on the board.
She certainly does. It's probably the easiest chance that she's had so far this game. Nose hit. Lori St. George on her final actually got to throw a hit, and she was facing 3, got rid of 1, scooched 1 just out of the house. But there is a chance for 2, just a nose hit.
And there you go for 2. So on the board is Caitlin Laws after 7 straight stolen ends.
Curled up the hair. Yeah. Good. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for the game.
And that'll be shakes as well. And they'll concede. So St. George picks up the win there. And the final will be 8-2. And so Lori St. George picks up an early win.
Yeah, okay. We don't have it. Close.
Remind you again, just 3 teams make it out of each pool. No tie-breaking games. The deciding factor will be head-to-head record. And then if that doesn't decide it, There should be multiple points or multiple teams tied. Then they'll go to the last rock draw distance.
It's pretty buried, huh?
Oh, yeah, she's oversunk.
Huge curl in there. They were contemplating ticking the center guard at one point. Look where it
I
went.
do like the same, yes. This should run fine.
Again, first time we've seen corners on this
Yeah,
side of the sheet.
yes.
It's the 10th end. Must makes. That went sideways.
7! I had very similar. 22.
Clean for line. Yes.
Line, yep, for line. Hard for line. 7!
Hard line.
Hard line. Hard line.
Hard.
Right there.
Hard line.
Push, push, push.
Big scrub if you can get this by, sneak it by. And they can't, and so they'll roll it in and just pile them up on that center line.
I was like, oh God, this is diving in.
Yeah, her weight was good.
She's soft. She must have.
Didn't quite tap it in, though. So it's still the one stone belonging to Ontario, back edge of the
Normal.
8 foot.
I think we got to stick our shooter.
It's a little bit of a slant to the sheet as cause fits. I personally, now that I'm not playing, I think it's great. It adds a real dimension. The first time, as you said, getting around that wide in-turn corner, and it is curling hard.
But yeah, we do need to keep the shooter for sure. Okay, we can play control there. I get a hair extra. It's gonna run there. We can pull it. Control. Yep. Yep. Whoa. Yep. 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 Hard. Yep. Hard. 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 Little soft. Hard. Okay. Okay. You right? Okay. Okay. Yeah, just like closer to board. Yeah. Okay.
And we have another final as Manitoba, number 6 ranked, Kate Cameron out of the Heather Curling Club picks up the win over Carrie Galusha, Yellowknife. 8-4 is your final there. Time for Baxter. One more time for Baxter.
Roll it, roll it, roll it.
And look at that. I tell you what, there is a difference. Now I understand it's to the little bit to the wings, but the houses compared to last night are a little more lively.
Absolutely, Vic, and it appears that the speed has held up a lot better. There's been a little bit more curl in that slide path, which you would expect. And you wouldn't expect it to be as fast as the first half of the game, but it's definitely looking like it's held up nicely.
That's up to Tom Leonard and team. They've made a nice adjustment from last night.
Just normal.
Probably a triple here if you get it just right. You want to keep this rock in the middle here. Oh boy.
Okay. Just like
you stay on the offense, Joanne.
No, I don't know if we need to right now. You could just
Can't
tap
peel
that
both.
guy up.
The high guard's not really hurting them.
True.
I was just wondering if we like tap that one up.
I think that just gives them more to play with to get their dues.
Where are they playing right now?
They sort of got nowhere. They got nowhere to hide right now, really,
Well,
do they?
Way
No,
over
they just
here,
have,
but
like,
they still have
tappy
to
bits
deal
and
with
stuff.
all of these.
True.
Yeah, I don't really like the peel.
I don't hate peeling
I
that
actually
one,
don't mind the peel. Yeah.
but
They also might do this and
They
hope
might
we
do
miss
that.
a run back.
Yeah.
They might do that and then hope we miss a
Yeah,
run.
because right now, if we tap and leave them a freeze opportunity, that sucks.
Yeah.
and then what do they have a come around here? So is that the rock that we're most? That's our biggest worry right now.
Yeah.
Do we ever?
That's
Do we ever get rid of it?
I don't like that.
It's not easy for us to hit it. It's not easy for them to hit it right
I don't
now
think it's a
either.
worry, I just think it's
But if
the
we
best spot.
peel the guard, then they can hit it.
Yeah.
Are you sure this
Yeah, you
guy's
could
not
draw
still in the
there.
way?
What?
I said you could draw there. It's just problem is it's going to give her something to work with no matter what you do. She doesn't have the intern coming.
No, I don't want to do anything with that because that's blocking her way in. Those are blocking her way in.
I don't hate this.
That guard is blocking
taps
her way from
that's
hitting
when you
this.
Like, they freeze in there. How do you get them out? Do you ever heavy?
Draw right there.
Either that or tapping the 6 isn't bad, but you got to have good line.
No, I don't want to mess it up.
The only thing is, if they do ever get to be able to
Might be better
do
to
that,
go this way, tap that one, and you'll be up
let's do
here.
that.
And I think their concern is if you maybe tap this rock back a little bit,
I'm fine with this call.
that direction, then there's kind of a pocket for Ontario to get into, and then you can't get it out of there. So, I don't disagree with putting a 5th rock in play here, even though it's counterintuitive.
Yeah, and Christina made a good point. That high guard is kind of blocking the hit and roll off the rock that's in the back of the 8-foot. So,
and I'd like to leave the top 8-foot rock, the one in the middle here, open, because you can always raise it.
Stewart was, you saw a runner-up, played with Sean Adams in 2005 and lost the Brier final to Randy Verby.
Dave Medowin.
Hill brothers.
Opting to just choke off the corner here.
That works too, because it stops that back one.
Hard. Yeah. That's the whole way. Hard. Okay, keep going. A little more. Keep going. A little more. Whoa. Good.
Whoa, wow, good. Ooh, that went further.
That's really crazy. Good.
They all have been there.
And we have a third final, and after a very slow start, Carrie Anderson has found her game and will pick up the win. 6-4 is your final, as Anderson wins over Brooke Godsland and the team from Newfoundland and Labrador.
And I have to believe that Brooke and her team are pretty happy with how they played. Yes, they didn't get the win, but they pushed one of the top contenders this week right to the 10th.
Becky. Hey. Can I have last? Yep.
You got it. Sweet's nice.
Trying a little tap and roll over. So move the rock top 8 to the back 4, back 8-ish area. Roll the shooter behind cover. Maybe have something to work with on Danielle's.
Close. Back 12. Okay. Close. Clean. Yep. Curl. Yep. Curl. Whoa. Easy. Curl it. A little bit. Whoa. Curl. Curl. Go. Curl. Okay. 13-9.
Yeah, just rip it. She's going to try to probably do this.
Yeah.
And then we play that.
Should be quite straight here.
Should be, yeah, I agree. Yeah, half a rock is great.
Yeah, I'm just going to throw like 9 maybe.
9,
just
okay.
to keep it from going too crazy.
Yeah, I gotcha. You got it.
So lots of smiles by Quebec and Laurie Saint-Georges, who
I think just throw like a 9.
stolen ends, one game 7, so that is the record, and they stole 6 consecutive singles and then that deuce in 8. So a record-setting day for Quebec and Laurie Saint-Georges in an 8-2 win over Caitlin Lodds. Skip Stones. Right now it's an end that's really setting up here for Nova Scotia.
Clean.
Curl a bit.
8-8.
Curl.
Clean. Curl. Easy.
Curl clean.
And they'll chip it through. So
8.5.
the difficulty, of course, was removing that, I guess, and not splashing on something.
Just didn't want to set up a pocket. The hit was pretty automatic.
I think you're going to have to tap that to there and roll off onto there.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So just
Same
just
way
your
as me, yeah.
Yeah, yours came down quite a bit. What did you feel you threw your
I
hand?
actually thought it was back 8 the whole time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it came off a few feet then.
Take the same ice as me.
Yeah. Right about there.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Tricky little to play the in
Straight
turn
freeze
here. I
on
think they're
that
worried
is
about the
good
corner
too.
guard if you play out turn.
So it started off well for Inglis, although she missed the opportunity of a blank attempt, had to take a single. And then Black and Nova Scotia took control of the game, and they really appeared to be in control until 7. Inglis is deuced, then that steal. But what a nice reply by Black to score 3 to take the lead, and both skips not necessarily at the tops of their game. The game story brought to you by Montana's Barbecue and Bar, proudly Canada's home for barbecue since 1995.
Becky! Close.
It's running. It's running.
Becky!
Close, Calissa. Close, Calissa.
Back 12.
Calissa! Girl! Keep going. Go. Yep. Yep.
Nice idea, just a couple feet lighter.
Yeah, just a little more curl, one or the other.
So make it go away for Christina Black.
I guess. Get hairless.
Same throw. Yeah. Yep. You have lots of time, Tina, so just take a nice deep breath.
Last one was 8.5, so just the same.
Okay, nice breath. Same idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Let's do it.
Easy. Whoa. 9.
Yeah.
8.
Yeah. Whoa.
Carly Everest. As the crowd responds, away it goes. And that will run Ontario out of stones. And Nova Scotia and Christina Black will pick up the win. And that's now 14 straight games won by Black, going back to late November, and a loss to Annel Hasselborg. So the Sou'westers survive the Ontario storm to pick up the win.
We miss you.
Make the final. Nova Scotia is your winner.
The 2025 Scotties Tournament of Hearts is presented by Kruger Products, the softest and strongest supporters for over 40 years. By Montana's Barbecue and Bar, proudly Canada's home for barbecue since 1995. By BKT Tires, growing together. And by Home Hardware. Here's how.
Jill Brothers, Carly Everest, Nova Scotia celebrating a win 7-5 over Ontario, as now we've seen both pools, and there are your winners. Still Nunavut to play from Pool A, and the Scoffin team from Whitehorse yet to play in Pool B. And again, we point out that it's a short round robin. Only top 3 will advance, and then it comes down to, if there's ties, your head-to-head records. So that's an advantage already for a team, such as Anderson, Cameron, St. George, and Black. Now tonight on Pool A, McCarville losing last night, down a game. Rachel Holman comes in as the defending champion, picked up a win last night. How big is the game tonight for McCarville? You drop 2, and it's that proverbial back against the wall. All likelihood, you're going to have to win at least most of your games, maybe dropping 1 only the rest of the way. That's how tight it is when it comes to pool play at the Scotties. So that's our feature when we join you again at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Team Canada against Northern Ontario will be our feature from here in Thunder Bay, and the Scotties on Canada's sports leader, TSN.